and I'm saying all this because watching Super Troopers as an adult right now, and I see this movie a lot of times. I have seen it so many times that it's one of those things that when my brother and when I was staying with my brother for a little bit in San Antonio, he had just like a TV with the VHS in there, and
Yeah.
all he has Half Baked and Super Troopers. And we just watch it. We just watched it. It was on loop, and then the thing would start all over. So you just turn it on, and it would play on its own, and it just looped the movie. So it'd be playing in the background. And man, I used to just really watch. I think we watched Half Baked more, but Super Troopers was always on. And but now, like when you hear the story of how how they made the movie, when you really get down to that movie for me, like I think the score is at the end when we get to it, you're gonna be like whoa, but like it's gonna be pretty easy. Like you can see my whoa, but it's gonna be like what I have to say about it because for Super Troopers 1, I have like no notes. I just started saying no. I think this would be fun for Ben and I just to talk it out, and I'm gonna kind of wing. I'm gonna wing his notes a little bit. I'm gonna write his wing because I know this movie pretty well. But Super Troopers 2, this is for the second time I've seen it, and I got like notes. I got notes. So I hope you're in it for the long haul because we're doing a side-by-side midnight movie review.
Oh yeah.
So sorry. I kind of bit a lot more than I can chew on this episode, but I'm happy that I got through it. And I have to throw a shout out to my boy Ben, who kind of just hung in there and he chilled while I had to catch up, and he let me catch up. And I tip my hat to the gentleman because it's a true man. It's a true homie right there. He waits for his guy.
Well, listen, man. We can't have side by side with just one person. All right. This is a team effort, and give and take, my friend.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
like I said, it's it worked out too. So I have little to nothing to do tomorrow. Hey, why not? And plus this has been like a short week too. Like we watched like we did one on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and so we're doing another one today. So I mean, short amount of time to watch two movies, both clocking in at 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I mean, it's a little bit of time, man.
Yeah. Man, they
Um,
oh, go for it. Go for it.
oh no, dude. Like I said, I actually have quite a bit of notes, man. Like I'm front and back on my paper for both movies.
Yeah.
And also, dude, shout out to Kenya. She got me like this cool pin set.
Oh, dude.
Like it's a whole bunch of colors and like it's fine tip pins too. Like let's see, where is
There
it?
you
Like
are.
that. And yeah, man, I love it. So I have like one in blue and one in green. Yeah, man, like I'm ready to go. Um,
Tell your lady, thank you for supporting the troops here on the
yeah.
side by side. That's awesome, man. No, I know it makes a big deal because I actually had to go through two mechanical pencils on this one. Or one was already old, but I burned through it real fast, and I got this other one. And I started burning through it, and I was like, man, these mechanical pencils kind of suck. Yeah, get some good stuff. It was one of those like dollar packs. Let's see. All right, now me kind of
Dude, I
um,
forgot I graded it already, man. Like I already got my score on both of them.
that's awesome.
Uh,
And also Ben also said to take my time while I was doing this because basically saying like we had to show these movies their proper homage or like their what am I trying to say there their due diligence. Like you got to put your time into these. You don't just kind of burn
yeah.
through these movies. There's so many little things I found out about both these movies that I'm very proud that like we did this, man. And oh, one thing I got to bring up from the last one, we didn't do the score, so we're gonna have to do a reshoot on that.
We didn't do a score on those?
No, we did a score. We didn't do the Rotten Tomato score though. I don't know if that's gonna be our
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah,
So I
no, I
think
mean,
we got to talk about it. I don't know. I like talking about that. That's cool that we have like the Rotten Tomatoes critic score and then the audience score. I like doing that. I never used to do that, and now I look forward to that. I was always like I don't care, but now I'm like I am gonna say so, and I want to know what the say so's or what everyone else is saying. So
yeah.
it's pretty. I gotta
Well,
say,
it's almost like a gauge, man. Like it's like okay, this is where people are putting this movie at. Like, because whenever I see a critic score, man, like I take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but like I also think whenever you have critics, they're like looking at those movies that are like really artsy and stuff like
yeah,
that. Like they're really taking into an account like, okay, this is like they're hardcore grading these things. And you know, sometimes when you're doing that, especially with comedies, you can kind of lose sight of, you know, like just having fun when you go to the movies.
Yeah.
So I think that's where, you know, it's like, okay, you know, just kind of getting the, I like having that gauge, man. I like having it's almost like, what is it? Oh gosh, I can't even think what I'm trying to say. It's like having a wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, this is where they stand, or this is where they are. It's like, all right, I don't want to go that far, you know. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a terrible explanation of what I'm trying to say,
Just
but
go through it, man. Go through this wall. Now you're stuck on a wall. Break through it.
the wall. No, but yeah, man, it's yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed both of these movies, like hardcore. Was laughing a whole bunch throughout both of them, man. Like, yeah, like pretty much all my notes are just like recalling scenes and stuff like that, just so I could bring them up later and be like, oh, dude, this is what I loved about it. You know,
Dude,
that's what my notes are.
That's basically what I was saying about the first one. I was like, dude, let's just do. I'm just gonna say we could just talk. So this one will definitely be like, I think you're gonna see like this love that I have for these guys, this group, this trope, which would I think they're called. Man, Broken Lizard, that's fun. They know how to make a comedy, and
Oh yeah.
I'll say this about Super Troopers. Remember, I'm saying this in the beginning. There's spoilers on this podcast, so if you're listening to this right now, please, and you've never seen Super Troopers, or you don't want really, you haven't seen the whole thing, just be warned. We talking about the movie.
You know what else, man? Did you Broken Lizard, dude? Like, what is it? Beer Fest, man.
Yes.
Where he's like, a ZJ. What's that? I mean, if you have to ask, can't afford it. Like, dude, that is. This is why I love this group, man. It's just because they have like those one-liners that you just are like, yes, man. Like it's perfect.
Dude, my buddies. See, that's why we'll get to Beer Fest one time, but because we have to. But that movie is a perfect movie. But my buddies. Well, we always joke around and be like, hey, back the fuck up, Antonio. That's my dick. like, he's like, I gotta move along, guys. I got a mouth to feed. Like, we just say that.
Just like breaks the bottle.
Yeah, back the fuck up. I just think it's funny, dude. Like he says, yeah, I have a mouth to feed. Like, dude, we used to say that all the time. We just being around like, hey, what are you gonna do today? Man, I gotta go to work. Why? Because I got a mouth to feed.
Yeah. Dude, like, and then whenever he's like looking off in the distance, he was like, I was playing ping pong and ding dang. Like, dude, that one always gets me too. And like this week I found myself like just looking off into the distance, just like thinking to myself, and that's the first thing that came to my mind was like, I was playing ping pong and ding dang every damn time. It's like shoved the paddle up my ass.
Yeah, I've been sideways. I've been shitting pancakes for weeks. Oh man, I am sold on this. I love this movie. I love these guys. I think they hit it. Something that I really get. We'll eventually get to this movie talking about it. But one thing that I really love about these guys is they really grasp like a scene and they really know how to sell it. They sell it well. And I want you to say his name because I'm gonna blow it. Jay, what's his last name? How would you say his? I heard it earlier and I'm like, man, I'm gonna mess it up. It's not Spanish, so it's gonna throw me off. It throws me off a lot. But all Jay, right. Man, the director,
Chandrasekhar.
Chandrasekhar. Yeah, he my doppelganger, my older doppelganger. Man, he's got a good eye, man. The way he directs, the way he tells it. And one thing I got to say about what these guys on the movie set is they look like they're having fun.
Oh yeah,
the whole movie, the editing. I have like the editing they do, that 2-minute scene in the first one, like the way they edit the movie. It's so awesome. Like it's still like a weird, cool way. Like they're showing you like, hey, we're kind of like we're hip. This is like it's like a cool way to show it. And like everything about that, everything about the movies is that's what I wanted to say. The first one when I watched it, it would be like more of like I remember all the funny scenes. And I saw this when I was in high school. So I think I was a sophomore in high school when I saw this one. And I remember just seeing all the scenes and they're just cracking up all the time. Like, dude, this is funny. This is a funny movie. Like, this has a lot of little jokes. And I just took them as that. Excuse me. I didn't realize that they had way more depth than that. I didn't realize that this movie it's such a good movie. I would consider this a perfect movie. The way it intertwines all the characters, all the story, everybody, even the stoners in the beginning, they bring them back. Even the relationship with Foster and Ursula, they work on, like, every scene, it has a purpose, but at the same time, every scene can stand alone. The movie, the first opening scene, it feels like a short movie.
Yeah.
And then I found out, I did a little research on it, and it was from Cinefix. That it was a story that a crew that hung out with Broken Lizard, that they happened to them, so they got inspired to make the story. So what happens with that story about how just the way they show it, it's so, now as an adult, and that's what I was telling my mom. I was like, now with my adult brain, like, I see things different in my dad brain, and I'm like, oh man, it's way funnier to me. I get it. I get all the layers. I get it. Number two, it took me longer to watch because I kept rewinding it, because I was like, God, I just caught that. I have to rewatch it again. I caught that. Because number two, I've only seen it twice. There's that at the theaters now. And then the first one, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen the first one. But now that when I really put the story together, you really have, like, I just kind of like, just a few topics I have is like, the opening scene is like a short movie. It really wants to talk about this. I said I really want to talk about this movie a lot. Like, I just want it to happen because for me, this is a hidden gem, and I'm glad I saw it tonight. I'm happy, and this is the first time I've done this where I've done a back-to-back for side by side, and it was I noticed something right away from the first one and the second one. They're the exact same movie, but it's just in a different location. But it's so damn funny because the jokes are different. They're not the same jokes. There's like, it's so playful. The set, I mean, even the ending of the movies, they show you the bloopers and everyone messing around. Like, that's looks so fun. Like, I want to be on a set like that. Like, I want my sets to be like that. I want everybody to just be like, hey, let's just have a good time. Let's make a movie. We're making a movie. Let's do this. And with that one, the way they end it is just perfect because it's like it's just a giant slow burning, like, loop story. And then you get back to the beginning, like, and then, like, the relationship works out. You really see the relationship between Brian Cox's character Grady and versus Grady, the captain versus him. You really see that hate. And then he says, what are you drunk? And he goes, yeah, drunk enough to kick your ass. Like, you really, like, see the fight. And then at that one point, like, Brian Cox, by the way, is like one of my favorite actors. When he introduced him at that fight scene, man, or at the cafe, he just steals the scene, like, just grabs it, just takes it, and you're just like, he's in this movie? What?
Yeah.
What? This is like badass, because, like, actors in it, like, and that's what I got, like Linda Carter, like the way she does her, like, little cameo. And then the mayor, I don't even know who the mayor is. I want to look him up. The mayor guy in the first one, he's so funny, man. He's like, hey, you guys busy? Like, he knows what they're doing, and he's all cheesy. He wants to get in on it. He's like, you guys know what you're doing? Yeah. He's like, give me a gun, come on. And they're posing, and even at that, I never caught that it was Ursula. I didn't, when all those times I watched it, I just was like, it was just funny to me. I just laughed at the scenes. But it was Ursula was the one that she put everything together, everything emotion. She was the one that helped them out. So it wasn't like they were stumbling across things, but there was someone putting it there, and it was Ursula. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. There's a girl behind this, a woman that's doing everything. She's the one behind it all. And because it kind of does, these guys are dumbasses. Like, they can't really they can't do anything. They're kind of, it's just, man, the way they really pull the pranks, the practical jokes. And that's the thing I say. Like, in the first one, they have the intro of the stoners and the guy eating all the shrooms and drugs. And then in the second one, they have the bus, the dream, the rabbit dream. So like, they kind of introduce you like, hey, but then like, you see that there's like the same kind of pattern in watching the movie and the jokes, but it doesn't matter. Like, they're so funny. A lot of the first things, the first movie I get is just the characters. Like, I like all the characters. Like, even at the very end, that little Papa's kid that he tells him, no, put it over there, or like move the keg, and then he goes, here, split it. Like, that's like, oh, that guy, like, that was like the perfect character. Like, they picked him. and he did that. I was like, man, that he's really like, you really want to kick his ass. Like you're like, come on, get him. Like what's gonna turn? You're waiting for the turn, and sure enough, it comes, and you're like, yes, he got him.
You ready for the fun part? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm ready for the fun part.
do it.
Like,
Takes his mustache off, dude. Like
that. I love that part too. Like he had a fake mustache.
Does he rabbit cat girl mustache? So and I was gonna say this is pretty cool because on this I want to stop saying that. But I was gonna say that we could talk about the characters more. I've noticed I'll say like the actor's name, and I kind of want to talk about the character. And like Thorne's character is like in this relationship with this like hippie chick, and they have a son. And then, but he's kind of like the cool, like the leader kind of guy, but because he does the right thing. And you have the Matt character played by Steve Lemmy, and he's like the wild card. He's like the crazy guy. And
I actually have on here. Where is it? I can't remember if I wrote it on the first one or the second one. Anyway, what I said was like Mac is that asshole that you want on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And like Farva's that asshole that you just like keep around because he's fun to mess with, you know.
Yeah,
like I feel like even in a work environment, like whether you want to or not, and it may just be that I've worked in food service and places where you don't have necessarily like HR kind of stuff, like
let everything slide.
Yeah, it's like
I know what you're talking about, brother.
That. Yeah, so like. There's always like that one guy that you can unanimously like kind of pick on and just kind of give hell to, and sometimes they fight back and sometimes they don't, but that's what I kind of see in this dynamic. It's like you have a bunch of guys that have no HR headquarters. You don't have anybody overseeing them besides Brian Cox, who he even like I love it whenever you mentioned that the Grady guy is like, whenever he's on the phone, he's like, "Oh, I'll be embarrassed." Like, yeah, fucking your cousin embarrassed. Like,
she's not my cousin. And then he answers that. He does a great job. That actor, I want to say his name. He does a really, really good job. He goes, yeah, I didn't fuck my cousin. She's not my cousin. Kind of in 1977 when you.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, it's so tight knit. Like, you just feel that. Like, even like the chief and I guess the other chief. I'm not too sure, but they have history. And that was another thing that I wrote on here. Like, and I think that was an original idea or the original plan for like Super Troopers 2 was for it to be a prequel. And it's like their dads are all around here, and they're with Brian Cox's younger self and stuff like that. And that was going to be like Super Troopers 2, but before, and they have like 70s stashes and stuff like that.
I was thinking that's what it was. I was thinking that these guys, that's one note I did put for both movies. I was saying that they must have seen a lot of cop movies, cop shows. You can really grasp that. Hold on, there's a little thing here that I finally got a thing say remaining meeting 9 minutes left. So let's see what happens. Let's see. So we're doing a first. I mean, it's midnight, but things always go wrong when I start producing. So I gotta just keep going. But that sorry, real quick. It's Chief Grady's name is Daniel Von Bargen or Bargen, Bargen. He's a great actor. You see him in a lot of movies. Yeah, like their chemistry together. You feel the hate. I even like that one guy. He looks like Randy Quaid on the Cops. He kind of looks like
the dude with the mustache, the handlebar mustache. Did they give that oversized candy?
They look at candy.
Like, and that's the beauty of this movie, man. It's like they aren't trying to be mean. They just like give you pranks that are really inconvenient.
Yeah,
like. It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna give him cotton candy, but make sure it's a lot of cotton
I know,
candy,
but that's it. That's a good prank, man. Like I'm not a really a big prank guy. I don't like doing that because I don't like pranks on me, so I don't do them.
Yeah.
But when I see good pranks, I'm like, dude, that's a good one. But that's like
Yeah.
annoying. Like, what are you gonna do with it? And sure enough, you see what happens. Like the cop gets mad, shut up, and he just hits him right. But that's another thing that I love, that actor, that background actor, or that what I guess he'd be a principal kind of. He took it. He took that hit to the head, and it's like real cotton candy, I think. And he just takes it in the face, or maybe it's just cotton or like soft something. But whatever it is, he
It's
does it
probably
so.
insulation,
Yeah, he
dude.
said, "Oh God," he sells the scene really good, and that guy, that cop guy, the Randy Quaid guy, he he's he cracks me up because I just don't we sit there with the water hose spraying Farva, and he just looks so gross, like he's enjoying it, like it's like
Dude, then the chief of the police, he's like, Farva's like, this is powdered sugar. And he's like, the lice hate it. Like, he just says it with a straight face. He keeps talking, and Farva's like,
it like
it's delicious.
it's delicious.
Like,
Dude, Farva, dude, he the what do you call it? Yeah, it's delicious. Kevin Heffernan, Farva, he's great. He's that guy's really smart. I've seen him in interviews, and I've seen him do stand up. He's really smart, and the way he makes Farva come alive is amazing. You
oh,
really
man.
get it's you're right. You get with Farva kind of like a family member that you don't want to you can't really push away, but you're like, ah, damn it, because they pointed out in number two that Foster and Farva never had a scene together, and then they have that scene and it's horrible. It's like that's why you don't have a scene together. And then like it's kind of that's one thing I like about the humility of number two. They kind of point out in front of you like, hey, I mean I don't want to jump into number two just yet, but I don't know, we'll wait. But like the thing, let's see, what was I gonna say? Let's go somewhere else. Oh, I mean, just the everything ties together. Everything ties, like there's like all these little stories. You even get like I like that. I think I don't know if you figured this out, but I think I figured something out. That there's a part when they're fighting when they get to the end of the movie, and there's the planes, the plane with the Canadians and all the drugs that they're
Yeah.
fighting. That there's that I like that they have that I'm sorry, the Randy Quaid character's name. I don't want to keep calling it Randy Quaid character, but that
Honestly, I think you should.
okay, the Randy Quaid character and Max like hate for each other. Like even when he throws the bottle of syrup, like it's a
Mhm.
buildup, and you want to see that fight because they really like.
First off, that was a perfect throw, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, sit down. And he sits down.
The second one, dude, he got him with that
Sorry,
second.
but go.
No, you're right, dude. They and I saw a little video that was talked about the movie, and they actually drank syrup. Like they ended up drinking it. Like it's gross. I couldn't do that. I like to eat it, taste it, but not chug it. They did it because they said they put
That'd be
ice.
diabetes for me.
Oh god, I know. That's runs in my family, so I gotta be careful. But with they were doing iced tea at first, but they said it was looking way too fake, so then they just did the real deal. And I think Jay drank 2, and then Eric Rabbit drank 3. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of sugar.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's to do the scene. They did it, and I'm kind of thank you. But dude,
That's
that scene's
awesome.
funny. But I thought even like I love that they think I'm Mexican. You're not, like that scene in the like that cracks me up because I
I
have
have
this
a chinchilla.
chinchilla. Chinchilla. And he says it. He says it so like you would say it like that. That guy would say it like that, and you're just like, God, I hate that. It's like it's funny, but I know there's like they're just jokes, and that's what I love about this movie. It's just jokes. They're just jokes. This movie is everything is funny because it's just a joke. Take it for what it is, but it's a joke. And so all that, and like this, and that's why I say is these story ties, they work so well because even you see that hatred that Mac has for the Randy Quaid character, and then at the end when they fight, they really go at it. So the thing I caught was Team Ramrod. They actually Team Ramrod, that Galifianakis guy. They at the end because remember Authority hits him, and then Galifianakis hits him back, and then Farvo gets mad and he attacks him, and then Authority punches him. So they did a double team, and they did a Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod.
They got him, yeah.
Whenever you mentioned that, that guy was Canadian, what if he was working for Rob Lowe back in the day,
Which,
running drugs to America?
oh,
Like, you know
that
what I'm
ties,
saying?
yeah, ties
That
the
could,
story. Yeah, that
yeah,
he
that
could have
could
been
be
part
the
of.
connection.
That's
I mean, aside from like those guys doing that, but like, and that may be why the governor wanted them to go in there, is
that's
because
true.
like
It
she just thought that they could stumble across something so
or
stupid.
maybe she's doing something with it too, because
Possibly.
there's a few, like, I feel like, when was I think it was 2001, and then so it was a 14-year gap between these movies, I believe.
It
No, no,
was
more
17.
17 years.
17, yeah.
That's see, and that's what I think. These guys, I think it's a big gap. I wish they would have made this a little bit sooner, but I don't know if it takes this long for them to write this genius stuff. Excuse me.
I think it was just a matter of production and everything, man. I just don't think they, because I mean, it felt like too, like, well, and this is their first sequel, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
Yeah.
It's kind of daunting to do a sequel just because you don't want to lose those expectations.
But
Uh,
I will
you
say,
know,
with this sequel, like, they give you what you want. You're gonna
yeah.
get more Farva. You even get another Farva, Canadian Farva, and then they meet Bizarro World. That's funny because they both understand each other. Like, they have that awkward moment, but oh, we're the same. Let's just go away. Like, we don't need to argue. Yeah, the pointing, dude, and like, that's another, like, that's a office person that's annoying. That far, but like that, it's like, oh, I work with those guys. That's kind of funny. And then I have have my one-on-ones and hang out with them, and I'm like, oh, there's a reason why nobody likes you, and I understand why. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna talk to you enough that if you go postal, you'll think about it, but you won't do it. Like, you're like, nah, you're all right. And just keep going, like, oh, thanks. But it's like, I'm joking, but the joke on that, like, it's like there's so many layers of jokes. They're just they slap you in the face, and I'm glad that they put written by Broken Lizard. Like, it's all of them.
Yeah.
It's all those guys, and they all work together. And I don't know if I don't know if you did any research on the guys, but I don't know if they're an improv group or not. But I think they might.
I don't know if they are. I mean, it would totally make sense if they were.
All right, excuse me real quick. It says I have less than a minute to upgrade. So let's see what happens. If it shuts down, we're going to pause real quick, and then I'm going to pay for the upgrade. I don't care. So we'll see. It says less than a minute, but I don't have a timer anymore. So that's all it's saying. Let's see what happens. I don't know how many minutes you get on Skype. I haven't had any issue. I mean, on Skype, Zoom. I don't know.
Skype. We'll get a plug from Skype. Skype, if you're listening.
Skype us up.
We're on Zoom, but
yeah, we work together.
We're plugging you over here.
All right, let's see. I could pause this part and get us right back on. I just want to see what's going to happen because I don't want to lose the momentum of what we're doing. I mean, oh wait, I had the movie playing. I was actually gonna do something different too because I really do like this movie a lot. I was just gonna have it playing in the background while we talk. Super Troopers 1. I mean, I think for this being it's an independent movie, and that's what I really love, that they did everything, that they did what they had to do to make this movie happen, and I feel like they all put a big part into it. They all put their effort into it. And you can tell, like, you can tell there's
the first time it's done it, dude. And we've had like 2-hour conversations.
Dude, we've had a lot, man. I don't know why I guess I've done a lot of podcasts with Zoom already, but let's keep going. I'm not gonna let this down. And
sorry, man. I had to let me get it on my iPad again. That way.
I mean, this is ridiculous. The plans are like I want it free.
All right, let's see here. It should, yeah, okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna end my call here.
Okay.
And
all three of us are here. Echo.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah.
Echo. All right, so let me do this thing. We're here. All right, here we go. We're back on it. I'm recording. Testing on 1, 2, 2, 2. I'm still going. You get me? All right. So the big thing with this movie, I didn't realize that it was gonna open some fun stuff in my head that I remember from just the jokes, the pranks. They're funny. Like all the like the meow. Everybody knows a lot of people know the meow scene and the way Mac is laughing. When he's like gut, just that scene right there with Jim Gaffigan, just like, and then he does a little hand thing like that, like get and he's meow, get to it. Like that's what I want to talk about. That reminds me of my basketball career, with playing 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade, 12th one, and so on. And I stuck with it the whole time, and I never really, I didn't give up. So what happens, well, you grow this bond with, so when you just play sports with someone and you travel with a teammates, and you learn to build trust with each other, you learn to like grow, and you're young, and it's cool that you guys go through this experience, because even now at this age, at 36, like, we, my friends that knew me back then, how certain things I did on the basketball court, they look at you shooting 3 pointers or something. It's kind of cool that we still have that bond, and this movie kind of reminds me of that. Like, these are friends, are like, hey, like you can see their friendship through the cinema, and they really comes through, and you can tell like they push each other, like it's like the hazing of Rabbit. And I actually picked up this time that he is a rookie. Like, he's a rookie. He does rookie mistakes when when he gets seduced by the Europeans. Like, he falls for it. But then that's what I said about that scene with the mustache ride. He goes, "Stop jumping on the bed," and you think it's a little kid, and he goes, "I said stop jumping on the bed." It's the two European people he has. Then and see, even those people, they're not just there for like the Jim Gaffigan. He's kind of like just a gag, that he's like I found out that Farva's character in real life, that Kevin would have issues with Jim Gaffigan because they were auditioning for the same roles, and Jim Gaffigan would get him. So he was kind of, so that's kind of like the thing, kind of like that's kind of like a character that's in it. But outside of the cameos, like, it's the relationship they have, it really breaks through. But the what was I saying? The European people, the couple, they actually have a part, because they take him to smoke the weed and watch the show, and he's translating it for them. So he's actually helping them out. And I like that he serves a purpose, and it's always like they just let him out of the cell, and they're just. But it shows you what cops could do or are capable of if they want. I have been pulled over when I was like 21 by my friends that were cops. Not gonna say any names, but they pulled me over, and I was like, what am I doing? And it was, they did the whole like step out of the vehicle, and I stepped out, and then they started telling me to do dumb things like jump on my head and jump on my one foot, grab my butt cheek, and I was like, what the hell, who's this? And I just heard laughing, like, hey, what's up? I was like, whoa, you guys are cops? I was like, oh, this is cool, like, I was like, oh, cool, we'll keep the streets safe, that's good. But I do love that they took something that you can kind of take too serious, and they put a spin on it, and it's funny. I want to know where they got. I want to know where they got their inspiration. I need to look some ideas up, or some interviews that they had. Where they think of this, because it's a beautiful script. It's funny. I feel like these guys were just sitting down and just throwing spitballing ideas, and let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and it was just like cohesively working. I mean, a lot of things always are hard to do, and it seems like that it might have been tough for them, but they put the work in, and it shows. There's a lot of craftsmanship in this movie. There's a got little good little scenes, little quirks, beautiful. Like right now, I'm just watching in the background, like just no music, and it's the guy's tripping out, and he's just like, but the snozberries taste like snozberries. You guys want to go to Mexico? Like, still opening up with
You
that
know,
scene.
like, I mean, that's what I have down here too, man. Like, that first scene is iconic. Like, it really is. Like, you have that whole aspect of, like, I mean, I don't know if, I don't want to speak for you or anything, but I've definitely been in that situation where you get pulled over and you're like, oh no,
Yeah,
like you're doing something wrong, and you are. And but you know, it's nerve wracking, dude. And they're just sitting there, and then they think it's fine, and then you have that, like you said, the one guy at the end who tears up the dollar bill. He's like, "Oh, I was gonna pull out my gun and do all
yeah.
this." And dude, they stopped right then. It's like they had a microphone in the car or something, and they're just listening and just waiting for the perfect time. But
Like
yeah, dude. Oh, sorry.
no, you go,
No,
you go, you
it's
go, you go.
I also put down here, it's like the reason I feel like the reason they have, you know, and this is probably just because it's like they were trying to get a good scene and they didn't want a whole bunch of cars on the road or anything like that. But that's like the only car on the road,
Yeah.
So I had down here like they have no one to patrol, so they just fuck with each other and like the few people that they do come in contact with. Um, but yeah, man, like that whole scene is just great. And plus you get to meet the entire, you get to meet
Yeah, all the
everybody.
guys. Yeah,
Like you get to be introduced to each of the characters, like, oh, okay, Foster's just,
lazy.
he's phoning it in, man. He's like fishing on the job, like, how you doing today? Good looking, you
He's
know,
fishing on the job.
and just like that kind of guy. And then you have Rabbit and Thorny, and Rabbit, he's learning. Thorny, he's screwing with these guys because dude, I used to have a sign in my room, and it said no littering. So what I did is I just crossed out the no, and I put littering and at the bottom, and like dot dot dot, and just
Oh,
littering and yeah, it was like an actual road sign, and I just like took a marker and edited
littering.
it myself, you know. And but yeah, man, I would. That's that's the thing. That's what I really love about movies, man. It's just like it can influence you in just little things. Like, okay, I see that sign. This is how I wanna make it. And this is what I see every time I see that sign. You know, I don't see no littering. I see littering
Yeah, littering and it's a
littering
totally
and
new symbol for you. And
yeah, dude.
I even like that. And the second one they do that too. They go glittering and glittering, like they're making
Yeah,
fun, like they're making fun of themselves, man. They're like, yeah, you like that? They'll bring it
mhm,
back. You know, like
yeah.
they give you what you want. Like this is a very satisfying, both of them palates. Like this is like eating a steak with filet mignon. And you know, it's got I'm gonna be with wrapped in bacon. Now it's like eating a steak filet mignon, and it's got lobster and crab and all the good stuff, and then you get another helping of this, but it's the same stuff. But you're just like, man, I love it. I'm not. This is good stuff. I'm not gonna complain.
Well, now that I'm working at the meat department, it's like you know, having prime compared to wagyu.
Oh,
You know. Oh
I love
yeah,
the wagyu.
let me throw that out there for you. You
All
know,
right.
since I have a
Eh,
little bit more
please, sir,
experience.
educate us. I love this. Educate us.
So what wagyu is a mix between our Angus cow and the Kobe beef from Japan. And the Kobe beef is you know, it's treated like royalty, okay? It is a cow that is fed beer. It is marbled beyond perfection. Marbling is going to be that intramuscular fat, all
Mm,
right? If you don't like fat, well, this may not be the cut for you, buddy, because my God, it only you don't even hardly see any meat in there. It's just all fat, and it's
mm,
fantastic.
I love it.
It's like butter, you
Mm.
know. It's like having
it's
butter
like it's like
already mixed inside
it's
of
like
your steak.
it's like a butter tart goulash. What's he saying? The second one. I don't know butter gut. Like what's it called?
No, oh, was it a butter tart Yule log? That's what it
you
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
is that,
and then they have those infrared grounds. I'm going back for my butter log,
yeah.
Yule log, farting, just pissed. Like, oh my
I
God,
was thinking
love it.
I think that's the one of the only gags that I was looking forward to on the from the I was like when they put those heat seekers, somebody's got to fart. I know these guys, they did it. I was like, it's got to be Farva. And then I get the fart zone. He even shows you, has a sign that says the fart zone when they're moving in with it when he
Mm.
gets in front of a Max desk. But I like that you saw a little development in Foster. Now he's the tech guy. You see Mac is still the same crazy guy, but he's not super. He's a more chill a little bit, but he's still like when they fight. I caught at the end when he fights Will Sasso. He like runs at him and Will Sasso just tosses him. And I love that Will Sasso's in this movie. He does a great look Canadian. I think he's actually Canadian too. Like he does a
Really.
really good.
And you know, that's what I was thinking about earlier. Actually, I was like, you know, it would have been awesome if they got like Jim Carrey to play like the Rob Lowe character. I
Yeah.
mean, not to say that Rob Lowe didn't do a great job, but is Rob Lowe Canadian?
I don't know. Maybe let's look it up.
I don't know if he is, but I mean, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed him in that. I thought that would be like that would be super cool if you know they had somebody like that, or maybe Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, he's a little older, but you know,
Yeah, I'll say that I did like his performance, but I am also on the Rob Lowe train. I actually like a lot of his performances in all the movies he's done. When he came out recently on
yeah,
the
he's
Joe,
from Virginia, so he's pretty close.
yes, those, yeah, when I just saw him on the JRE, the Joe Rogan. I don't watch all of them, but I do
Oh,
watch.
I haven't watched that one. It's
It's
good.
good, man. And the I don't watch all the Joe Rogans, but the ones I do like are the ones where he's super interested. Like when you see him as a fan, that's when I'm like I'm on it. I'm like cool. So when he was with Rob Lowe, he's like, hey, you're an actor from the '80s, and you know you're a part of the Brat Pack and all this stuff. And but he's developed in a lot of different things, you know. And he seems like a very serious like heartthrob kind of guy, and he does comedies and he does them well. Like
Mhm.
he really throws that wedge. So I like I you know he does a lot, and then he has like through that through you got to kind of I would recommend watching that podcast. It's pretty good.
Okay.
And you learn a lot about him and the stuff that he's done outside of like the movies, and he's like also like a conspiracy guy in a way. So he,
Ooh,
but
good.
like,
See,
but like in like the like he doesn't go on the crazy ones. Like he just kind of does like animals and or like Bigfoot and stuff like that.
that's why I love the Dan Aykroyd Joe Rogan. Because, dude, he was just like, he was throwing it out there, man. Like, ghosts are real, aliens, yeah, they're among us, man. Like,
Yeah.
he was just all about it. And I just love that, man. Like, I don't know. Those are the Joe Rogans that I really enjoy. Like, I listen to the Ron White one just because I love Ron White.
Those are funny, man.
And, dude, they are hilarious. And honestly, I'll be quite honest, dude. Like, the comedian or the ones that have comedians on there, I tend to not listen to as much. As odd as that sounds, like I like the Joe Rogans where he has like PhDs and like you know, um, or like what's another one? Oh, whenever he had like Commander Favor or something like that on there. I do like the Alien Joe Rogan
Yeah.
podcast. Those are awesome. Um,
And I forget, it makes me feel like he knows these people, but he doesn't know them. So he's getting to know them, and you're
yeah.
going along for the ride. So I tend to forget that he's like, I think they all know each other. They don't. So
Hmm.
sometimes he's like, oh, it's like the Tom DeLonge podcast was kind of weird because Tom DeLonge's like
Yeah.
super into it. And Joe Rogan's in like he's into conspiracy, so he gets into it. So you're like, God, they're really going down this hole. They're going down a rabbit hole together, and they're showing us this is pretty cool. But then after that, like Joe Rogan's like, no, that dude's really like he's out there. He's like they were asking him in interviews, and he's like, no, we were talking, and he believes all that stuff, and he's got a lot of I don't know. He's like I don't know. I didn't really remember it, so I'm not gonna talk about it too well. But I remember him being like that. But I think like for the Rob Lowe character, I like him a lot. Just like he's like a nonchalant, like, hey, what's going on? Like, hey, it's a workout, with the guy's penis, like. God, oh man, I don't want to break it. Like, I want to wait. I want to wait for Super Troopers 2 because Super Troopers 1's so good. But I will say that
Dude,
two is great, man. Two is just as good as one. I think. Do you think two could be a standalone movie? Like, if you never saw one, would you just laugh at two? Or
I think so.
could you watch these two and then one and it makes sense? Because I felt that when the scene where they're all wearing all black when they break it into Canadian the Mountainese the Mountaineers when they break into their house.
Mountains, yeah.
Yeah, when the Mounties when they break into their house, and you can see this Will Sasso guy come out, and then you see like the cops. I guess like all of them. I was like, look, that's Matt because that's what he does. Then Thorny's the next one because he's the leader, so he has to go next. And then it's got to be Farva because Farva's got to try to prove himself that he's the tough guy. And then you see the rookie in the back because he didn't know what to do. And then you see Foster Will has little tech stuff because then he shocks him in the testicles. So it's like he has all the tech gear that he gets come out, and the triangulator even pops up. I was like, when is that thing gonna come back out? So you see the growth. As I was saying, you still get to see these growths in these characters. I
Yeah.
love it. They really, I mean, it's 17. I don't know if it took 17 years for them to really get all that, or I don't know how long it took them to write the movie, but man, they really brought it. It's funny. I do like the beginning of one with the both the movies have these like those short movies in between of them. I mean, in the middle of them, and like it introduces you a lot about the characters. That first one, I just like that you see the road. You see the state trooper like kind of road. You kind of just it's showing it. It even says like a Jersey Shore production. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of sounds kind of different. And
Mhm.
I never paid attention to that before, but now I was like, that's cool. And then in the second one, you go straight into the movie. Like they don't even mess around, and that's what I like about sequels. If you're gonna do a sequel, don't give me just fill me in as we go. I don't need you to try to re-show me the characters, new things. Or just let us catch it. Let it slip out. And that's what they did between the two movies. The first one for sure. I mean, there's so many scenes we haven't even talked about. There's so many things. This is just such a
I'm
great.
telling you.
Yeah. Start popping them off, man. Because I'm gonna just laugh with you, man. But I think.
So
Oh,
yeah, what was it? Whenever Foster's okay, I'm just gonna go back to the first one. All right, we'll stick with that. Just a few that I've written down. We've talked about a couple. Whenever Foster's talking about Johnny Chimpo and he's trying to explain it to the
John
captain.
Chimpo.
Yeah, John Chimpo, right? And then he's like, his butler tries to keep him in line, but no,
Yeah.
he just so nonchalantly um, and this is where I had that thing about Mac and Farva that I was talking about earlier. Then after that, getting high and watching John and Chimpo just shenanigans, dude. Like, oh, I love that scene too. It's like, hey Barbara, where's that place with all the goofy shit on the wall that you love to go to? Oh, you mean
Shenanigans.
shenanigans? Shenanigans? You know, it's like,
Oh.
oh, like they're all stoned, man. The captain doesn't even. He's like, it just blows right past that part, and we're just
Yeah.
like going right back into it.
Shenanigans.
Dude, one thing that I thought was pretty damn funny this time. Whenever Foster and Ursula were meeting up, and they were supposed to dress up like bikers,
Oh, bikers.
and
Yeah.
just like that miscommunication, like, oh, okay, you meant this, and like she comes in just like looking like Sandra D, and he's over there looking like a knockoff.
Lance Armstrong kind of.
Thank you.
That you're,
You
and
know,
it shows you the lengths they have to go to see each other. But then you also feel for Foster because she's kind of using him, but then she falls for him. So then it's cool that she makes her appearance in the second one a few times. You know, the Ursula character, but I like that they showed that like grotesque side of how guys are, they treat women sometimes, and I like how it shows like that cop guy, man. What, you know, they go, hey Ursula, where's the TP at? Oh, you mean the one on your foot? Well, yeah, the one on my foot. And you know, he's kind of like an idiot. Like my wife knows, like she's trying to tell her like this, you're a woman, and she's like, nah, dude, like you guys stick me here. Like that scene at the baseball game is really important because she's trying to tell him I need an advancement, and they're not going to give it to her. Like she wants to be, it's like, nah, and that's when she's like, well, you're not gonna hook me up, so I'm gonna turn on you guys. And I caught that this go around, and I've seen that movie a million times, and I never caught it till I really sat down and focused, because I was just like, oh, I want to enjoy this. I'm happy I did we did tonight, and I watched it. I watched it back to back because it's like the roller coaster of laughs just kept coming in. They kept hitting harder and harder and harder and harder, and I was just like, oh, this is so funny. These movies are hilarious. A lot of the movies we've been watching are comedies, and I think that's I've been noticing that we do have a lot of a comedy taste that we like to watch. You know, other than like Made, but it's still a dark comedy, so it makes you laugh. There's a lot of jokes in that, but this one, man, they like you want a comedy, this is gonna smack you in the face comedy. Like you got to get it. And I was gonna ask you, do you think this is just stoner humor, or is this actually like it's just like humor? Like this is, because it seems to me like now this is kind of like a piece and like time, you know, where back then because like now marijuana is legal now in most states, you know, some states. So now it's like, you know, the
go on Texas.
Yeah. The idea.
No,
of,
I think it is just humor. I think that if you were stoned and you're watching this, you're definitely gonna think it's a lot funnier. You know, I think it just because you get outside the fact of once you can just kind of take yourself back and be like, all right, these cops are just like, they're just fucking around. Like, because, you know, whenever you really think about it, I mean, it's a serious profession. I mean, they deal with a murder, you know, like, and it's very lighthearted. It's not like, oh, you know, there's a dead person.
Well, the captain says, God, you guys handed over murder. Like he's like, come on, it's right there. And exactly, that's, like, it shows you like that. Right now is the scene where they're fighting from the Winnebago with the RV, and it shows Mac like going all crazy. Like I like.
Oh, sorry. What I was gonna say, man. I actually, so you know how they have the pig in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the whole point of this pig? You know, I think it's just a little bit of foreshadowing. I think it's like telling you, oh, the pigs did it. You know?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I thought it was to keep the cops out, keep the state troopers away. Like I thought it was a distraction for them. But you're right. The pig's like right in your face. Dun dun dun! Conspiracy. Ben found one. Gets the point. Gets the point right there. That's a good one. Dang. I did not piece that together. It's right in your face. That's the beautiful part about this movie. All those things the gems are right in front of your face. I like how they have the trading. But I'll give you the fat guy for Rabbit, and for I like that. I like they're doing like trading card. Like they have some of your guys. You're asking them for a back. And see the hazing, the locker room scene. They're just messing with. And I love Brian Cox's performance, man. He just comes in every scene. He comes in like a hothead, and he just lays it in. And I want to say that I think they're really drunk in the part where they're driving around, because if they're not, there's a damn good actor, man. He's
Oh,
God,
damn,
but
man.
it looks like they're actually having fun. Like they're just driving around, drinking, and I mean, you kind of say Rabbit's the sober one, so they made the rookie not drink, so they can. But them doing all that stuff, and then Brian Cox goes, Ursula, I'm naked, and he like walks off. He does it all funny, like when Foster's on the walkie-talkie. Even that scene is important. That Foster is in them, that she's helping them out, and she's guiding them. They need it, and then that's when she realizes you don't have guns, you're drunk, and like no, we're not that drunk, you know.
Sober as a bird,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
I'll say that Farva's character, like even in that last scene, like he's good at what he does. Like he's just dumb, because
Mhm.
like when he has to he catches Mac out of nowhere, you know, he does do like his jobs, like when they fight, he does step up. So I see Farva as like he's a good asset, but he's a pain in the ass. Like he's gonna
Mhm.
do, and that's why they always have him on the radio, because they don't want to deal with him, and it's just don't call me radio car 42. Don't call me car 42 radio. like
Yeah.
like these little jokes, man. Like I want to quote this movie so bad now. Like just little things that they do. You
Oh
know,
man.
you see that the problems are actually having. Like I mean, you see with Thorn, what's Thorny miss his name, Thorn
Ramathorn.
Ramathorn. They show it with him. Thorny is what they call him.
Yeah, Thorny.
They show it with him because he's going through the, like, they might get relocated, and him and his girlfriend might have to move. So
Mhm.
they show that part where he has issues throughout the whole movie. Thorny, throughout the whole movie, because they don't know what they're gonna do. They don't know where they're going. And even Max says, "I'm applying a postal job, or yeah, as a guard outside a post office." Like, well, at least you finally get to shoot somebody. Like those little jokes. Um, Man, this is I everything. This movie stitched so perfectly.
Yeah. Well, and you know another cool thing about this movie too is like the way it ends, like they still get shut down. You know, like there it's very you know, kind of grounded in that aspect. Like they still get shut down. It's like, oh, you expect them, they did this big great service and they get shut down. Of course, they do become local cops until the Fred Savage incident. But
When they still tied in together, you still tie the first and the second. They tie them together. Like they're just
yeah, and
this is a true sequel.
mhm. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. You want me to tell you my favorite Brian Cox moment throughout both movies?
Oh man, I want to hear this because he brings it in the second one just as well.
Oh, dude. So whenever it's in the second one, actually, it's whenever he's doing karaoke, and they're like, "Gee, Captain, just sit the fuck down. I'm singing right now." Like that cracks me up
I have
every
that
time.
issue.
Like, no, and then he just keeps on singing. He has like two more lines left. He
I waited an hour. I'm singing, singing like he's.
I waited on you. Exactly,
So
man.
he's either a hot-headed sober guy or he's a drunk mess funny guy, like in this movie. And he's got two what do you call it? He's got two personas.
Yeah,
Um,
he's that calm, cool, and collected, and then as soon as you really piss him off, then he just turns, you know.
yeah,
Um, and then I mean, honestly, I kind of see him as the manager of the bunch, and that does kind of come in handy, you know,
he
whenever
is.
you're
Oh, my eyes are drying up. He is a mentor for sure, mentor character.
well, and he even said that he created that prank with
Yeah,
whenever they're out on the range.
yeah, and he shoots the glass, and that's another thing I didn't catch the first time. Mac is getting off to that, and
Hmm.
Thorny's helping him out. He's shooting him in the nuts. Like he likes that, and that's why the captain says you're a sick fuck, because he's like he really wants him to shoot him. Like we use blanks. Like it's
Yeah,
man. It also shows you, like, you know, he brings out what they already know, but the new version is crazier.
yeah. Well, and honestly, that's how a lot of that stuff goes. You know, like you start off, you know, fairly level, and then it just kind of gets ramped up as it progresses, you know, because
Yeah.
there had to be more cops that went through before these guys. I mean, they're fairly young compared to Brian Cox.
Yeah.
um
Oh, you're right. The age difference is like, yeah, you're right. Like,
yeah
but they do have like
um
he does have kind of have a dad figure, kind of.
yeah, oh yeah, um for sure. But yeah, man, it's yeah, the first one, solid, dude. I I loved it, love it, love it, love it.
I think even with the Foster and Ursula relationship, it shows you how goofy dude gets a hot chick. So
Hmm.
you know, you really it's kind of simple. Just be
Oh,
yourself.
there's a streaker outside. Oh,
Yeah. I'm gonna
then
butter
she
your
comes up.
bread. I'm gonna butter your bread, dude. You got these. You don't got these at your station. But even when he tells a story, like it shows the relationship between Mac and Foster, and then Mac's more pissed off. I like that Brian Cox does that where he goes, where the captain goes, "You guys shake it off." Like, no, do it. Like, because they're he knows that they need to get back together, and then you know Mac's mad at him because he was doing that behind his back, and that's like his brotherish relationship he has, and
Hmm.
they share everything with each other. Oh, like then that does I do like how that comes through, like when you see the like the care for each other that they have. There's a few scenes I noticed where I was like, just as like a filmmaker's eye a point of view, there's that scene at the end where Brian Cox is reading the note. Rabbit is holding Arlo's. It's Thorny's son. But in that scene, like to tell an actor to hey, this the stranger's gonna carry you, it's kind of weird. But if it's your friend and they already know each other, like you know, then they all do hang out with each other. And I'm thinking maybe that is his real kid. I don't know, but he was real comfortable with it. So I was like, you could see that the cool part about that they all get the energy in that on that set, and then I like how the characters interact, and when the captain looks at Mac and he goes, hey, what's your you know your fly zipped after he was masturbating in the car with the speedometer speed this yeah he was doing it with that speed clock gun when he was masturbating and yeah because that's when Rabbit did the little prank and
Yep.
the captain goes, "Hey, what are you doing with your wiener hanging or something like that?" And then Max says like, "Oh, I was like masturbating or something." And then Thorny goes, "What are you doing with the billboard?" He goes, "Yeah, oh the ladies, yeah." Like he's done it too. Like like he's like he's been part of. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've done that too." Like I like that they have those little. It's like that's a very small little 4-line scene, just a small little smidgen in that movie. It's probably 2 or 3 seconds long, and it hits me because I like having coworkers like that where you're working with somebody and they're like, oh look, I can tell that you went and did this and oh yeah, like oh yeah man, hell yeah, like I like you just kind of you have that openness with it. You're very comfortable with
Hmm.
the individual where you're like, hey, and I like that movie has that, and I think that's what really sells it. I was younger when so I was in high school, so I got the jokes, but I didn't really get the story, and I love now that I get the story, man. Like they even shows you how they make mistakes when this, they pulled over Gallicanucas and he does repeater, and in the
Yeah.
car, and then he goes, "What happened?" Well, we gotta go carried away with repeater, and they, oh yeah, that happens, and they all did repeater right then and there, like
That happens.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that happens, yeah, like they all do it, like, and he does it, he Maxwell does it, like he doesn't stop doing the repeater, but they both get in the back of the truck, and that guy just locks them in there, and they didn't, he's a big guy, they didn't think about it, but I like.
And that was the second time I had crabs. And
Ew.
yeah, man. Oh, dude. So sorry. Going back to the firing range. One of my favorite quotes from this movie, and then sometimes I would say it's like, what was it? Whenever he's shooting him, or he's asking, he's like, "How are you shooting today, Thorny?" And he shows him, "Oh, I'm doing great." And he's like, "What about this one up here? What about that little guy up there? My little guy? Nah, you don't got to worry about that little guy." Like I love it. Like,
Do you think there's something more to that? Because I don't get that. Because all those shots are pretty spot on, and that one's way over there. Like, what was that? What was the point of that?
well, so my best guess is just to. I think it was just like a starting off shot,
Yeah,
and then just to kind of like fuck with Mac a little bit. Not
that's what I'm
necessarily
saying. Do you
just to
think?
fuck with. I mean, it very well could have been like he just had an off shot, just to fuck with him and just be like, you may die. Because obviously Mac has done this before.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time that he has done this prank. And so
Oh,
it it
sorry to
it may
interrupt.
it may what's up?
I think I'm gonna have to get the upgrade because it's asking again. What is
How
going
much does it
on?
cost?
I'll get it. Don't worry. It's like $14, but
Oh,
but I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. Like I want to know what I'm doing wrong. I want to know what's going on because this has never happened. Or maybe, I mean, maybe.
maybe
So
they're keeping track of us.
yeah, maybe they are. So we're gonna just a heads up. There's gonna be another pause. So we're gonna keep talking for these 9 minutes, and then there'll be a pause, and we'll be right back. Anyways, yeah. So the right that scene where Mac has gotten shot in the nuts, like that's a. I mean, that was just a scene that they just doing it. Like the information was just to tell the captain what was going on, but they were doing that scene. Like this is what we're doing on our time off, or so we're doing how we practice. This is how we get better. Like it just reminds me like like the basketball guys, like the boys, or you guys just hang out and you guys just you have to depend on each other. So it's like there's like a codependent, not that kind of dependency, but it's like you enjoy each other's company or presence. Like you enjoy each other's company's presence more than you enjoy doing your job. So it's like you enjoy your job, but I mean you enjoy your the people you work with more, and I think it shows a lot. I didn't think that I was gonna really like hit hard on this movie, but man, it really just started like it started ranking and started jumping in the rankings, and I started telling myself, wow, like this I don't I want to say that Super Troopers 1 is I'm gonna unleash it. It's up there. It probably jumped all the way up into my like top 10.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah, I think it made that impression on me that it impressed me that the way they did it. I like all the way the characters are, the shots, the angles, the storytelling. There's just so many stories in this movie, and I mean, to some people, like it's not like Pineapple Express is to me the stoner movie, and that's a real big stoner movie. We might have to break that one down once in a while, maybe once in the future, because it's just I don't really feel like that movie has I don't feel like that movie has a lot of like story behind it. It's just kind of like goofy, that shows you what they do, what two like kind of stoner guys do. Where this one is not really like that. This one's like a team of guys that like it has like those humor, because there's a lot of like in the first one there's a lot of not like the second one. The second one has a lot of like drugs and marijuana and stuff like that. This first one that has you see the bundles and there's the mayor, but you see
Well, it starts off with them smoking weed
yeah.
too. So it's a funny story about Pineapple Express. Not to get off on a terrible tangent, but I whenever I first saw that, I saw it in theaters, and I had never smoked or anything like that. So I had a totally different perspective on it. From the first time I saw it,
Yeah.
and then afterwards.
Yeah.
And so yeah, with this one, man, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that, dude, because I feel like in some of these movies, man, like whenever I don't know what movie it was. It might have been Tenacious D or something like that. But apparently, it's
Uh,
like whenever you see weed, that's when you're supposed to smoke. And so you know, that may have been the idea here too. Like, all right, we're gonna show these stoners driving down, and then they showed the package of, oh, okay, we're finding Johnny Chimpo weed, and then the cops are smoking later on in the movie.
I,
So I gotta say, I feel like there's more. I feel like there's more marijuana in the first one than the second one. And
oh
the
no,
second
no,
one, it's just like acid and stuff like that,
no.
right?
I'm saying that's what they went harder in the second one. They did more drugs in that
Oh
one.
yeah, harder. Yeah,
Yeah, they went
hard. Yeah,
harder.
okay.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so in the first one, I feel like it just kind of they just talk about it a little bit, but they don't really what do you call it? They talk about it just like they basically just drugs, and they just show alcohol. I mean marijuana and alcohol. And then in the second one they go real hardcore because they have the bus, in the second one, and then you have the Sean William Scott character with the Damon Wayans Jr. character, and then like that segue, just the way they start the movie for part two is hilarious. Like
Oh, I agree.
that's a good way to start the movie. I like the way they ended number one. I like the way they just bring you on for the story. They did it again in part two, with Super Troopers 1. Do you want to do ratings real quick, or we got 5 minutes before this thing dies. Let's just keep talking about one, and then we'll
Yeah.
start. Then we'll start off. But I mean, like I said, I don't have that many. I don't have that many notes on this because I feel like anything you would bring up, I'll be able to just start talking. Because as I was watching it, I like I said, I do want to just watch the movie. And I don't want to take notes. But the first one, I was just like, I had to stop taking notes. I was like, this is just funny. Anything you bring up about, I'll remember instantly. And even like the scene with the like it's like it shows Rabbit's rookie, like he shows all his like mistakes in the whole, and they're like right in your plain sight, and I didn't even pay attention. Like they sell that scene with the Euro girl, like you want him to be like, yeah, get her, like hold her, like
Hmm.
like and they see the way they sell it, it's like super sexy, and it's like really it's really in, like it's hard for him. He's like, is there anything you want me to do to you or you do to me? It's like, it's really thick, and he can't help it. He gets mesmerized, like the spell brings him in, and Thorne's over there with his kid. And I like that too, that he brings his kid with him along for the ride. Like, here, sit in Uncle Rabbit's lap. No, don't do that.
Not right now. It's like, oh, and then whenever Thorny's asking this kid about like having an uncle come by, he's like, oh, you mean like Uncle Fred?
Yeah.
What? So you see Thorny, who's like really comfortable with swinging with his girlfriend, but as soon as he thinks there's somebody else there, like, there's there's something kind of amiss. I thought that was kind of interesting too.
I caught on that Uncle Fred part. I caught how they filmed it, and I was like, man, that's so cool. Like, they sneak it, because the kid, it's hard to film with children. You for him to say it. So they just filmed the kid behind the cage where you can't see his mouth, but they did a voiceover. I go, this kind of sounds a little voiceover, and as I focused, I was like, no, I mean, I've never noticed this before, but I've been seeing it, and I've worked with when I record my son and we do stuff. It's like you don't get what you want, so it's all you got to kind of get what they give you. And and that part with the kids, I was like, whoa, it really, like, it shows you that sorry, I'm losing that scene is just cracking me up. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I forgot. Sorry. I am so sorry. Yeah. He just
talking about kids.
Yeah. I was saying, like,
where
are your kids? I'm sorry. Yeah. The being behind the bars, they put him there so you can, it blocks his voice, his mouth. You just had the voiceover, and I was like, God, I like that. I never would pay attention to something like that, but now I'm really like bringing it in, and the way they shot that, the way they got around that, that's cool. That's a problem. Like, I don't know if they had that problem on set. I don't know how hard their set was, but that's a good way to kind of get through that scene and still get him to talk, because they're just driving around. It's kind of hard to have a kid say his lines. They're, especially that young. We got 2-minute drill. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right. 2 minutes. We'll finish up talking about one.
Yeah, and then I think
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, 2-minute talk. The ties. I mean, from the beginning, it just brings everything in. Like, there's a point to every scene in both those movies. But there's a point to everything. One scene leads to the next scene, leads to the next scene, then gets back to the scene it started with, which I think
I have to agree with you.
That's very clever. I think this movie is very clever, very witty. I mean, even right here, like, Ursula, paper, and they're like that to me is like, you can't just talk. You can't talk like
man.
that.
Well, and I agree with you, man. Like, I think this movie it's very well told. Like, you get the start where you see those kids in the car, and then it ends up with the kids at a party, like you see that, you see everything kind of flow through, and you're like, oh, okay, they're just delivering beer now. I mean, it's believable too. Like, you could see that happening. Their station gets shut down. You're like, oh man,
Yeah.
And I thought that was, I totally agree. Like, I feel like the first one wrapped up a lot better than the second one did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, me personally, I think it was very, like, even with the scenes after where, like, they're playing, what was it, the shooting ducks with that one kid who ate all the acid.
Oh yeah. At the end,
like,
even they throw the fire extinguisher, and he goes, "Hey, what the hell?"
Farva.
Yeah.
And they say Farva because.
Hold on, it's gonna turn off. So let me see. It's gonna turn off real quick. So we're gonna do a pause. So pause. All right. Sorry about that interruption again. It's a good and a bad thing, because I think this is going to be one of our better podcasts that we've done. We're getting better at this, and this is two movies that we really, really enjoy, and we're talking about them. So there's going to be a little bit of problems, but the good thing is, just like Broken Lizard, we had to go and find the issue and fix it. I think we solved it. I think we figured out what the problem was, and we were doing a different setup this time than we usually do. So I think this should be fine. We shouldn't have any issues this time. No more interruptions. Do you want to rate number one? Or do you want to go through to talk to number two and then rate them both at the end?
Let's talk number two and rate them at the end.
All right.
I like that.
All right. Well, like I said, like I mean, there's just a lot of little things in number one that I really like. I mean, just the cop named Foster. I think that even, like, Officer Foster, that kind of goes together. Like, they did really good with these characters. On number one, also, where Farva does the stupid little, like, the little scene where he just pours the gas and, like, the trash to get the free hot dog. Like, he's wasting money. Like, I don't know if he catches that. Like, wasted money to get a free hot dog. You're like, is that free?
It was, but yeah, dude, that was in early 2001.
Uh-huh.
I mean, gas hadn't skyrocketed back then. I
Oh
mean, you
no,
could, that was another
that's
thing
true.
too. Is what was it? I think it was like $1. I think it's around the price it is now, like $1.60 or something like that was how much it was for gas.
No,
And
I
dude,
mean back
that's
then. No, back then it would even get cheaper, man. Like I remember because I was in high school still. There's sometimes
I,
I'd fill up for like excuse me, I'd fill up like at $13, you know, just to get a full tank of gas. I was like, wow, I miss those days.
I know, man. Like in honestly, dude, I'm kind of mad that I quit delivering pizzas right around the time gas plummeted. But it's a good thing, dude. I walk to work every day. Like I literally live across the street from where I'm working at, so
That's
it's
awesome. No,
fantastic.
it makes a
Yeah.
big deal. I know that I can feel a difference when I spent 9 years or a good portion of 7 years driving to a restaurant that was 45 minutes away from my home, and
Oof.
I don't know why I did it for that long, but it was different. I like the area. I think I learned. I did something to myself by exposing to being exposed to that area for so long. I kind of started thinking a little bit more like the people and kind of started understanding. It was like it's a rich area, so I was like, let me see how this goes. And a lot of this, like if I can quote a Super Troopers quote in that area and maybe one person would get it, but if that one person got it, like we can just laugh the whole time, it would be the only, but it'd be fun. Like I would look for that one person. I like I guess before we jump to number two, I don't want to stop talking about one, but like there's just like the relationship that Foster and Mac have, and then the relationship that Foster and Ursula have. Matt can't know about it, but he kind of puts it all together with this, like, so you had to get out of the door. He always he takes some serious, like he never questions them, like, so you had to break out of the door, in the back seat, because like so and that's the for here the thing is, I noticed that Ursula is the smart one, but they're not in her car, they're in his car. So she's not aware of it, and that's why she says she falls into the trap where of herself, like, wait, our cars, you have to be released. Someone has to let you out, and then he's like, oh, like then they say, whatever, fuck it, let's do it, and then they'll worry about it, and then the next thing you see, Mac talking about the car, well, because you ripped off the door. I like that they try to be truckers and they can't do it. They try to go undercover and they can't do it because they can't get past the first part. Like these guys they're not really good cops. That's what they're showing you. They're not good troopers. They're not good state troopers. They're not good at their job. They're kind of idiots, they're, I don't know, they're just, it's they got all the characters, they work together, they don't clash, like it's, I mean, let's see, this I mean, it was 1.5 million, it's somewhere, it says somewhere 1.5 to 3 million to make, and it made 23 million at the box office, which I think is great.
Yeah,
That's like
let's see here.
if you put 1.5 to get 23 back, that's a pretty good jump.
Ooh, wow. The second one was a budget of 13.5 million. Opening weekend, it got 15 million domestic, but it grossed domestic 30 million.
The second one.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think it would have done better than that.
I mean, well, this was all GoFundMe, wasn't it? Like for the second one,
Yeah.
so they didn't have to
Yeah.
put any money into it.
Oh,
So
that's
I mean, I want to know the character. I want to know who the character is that they. I remember they had. I gotta look into it. When we do a video breakdown, I'll look into it. But I know there's like you put $10,000 or something, you could get a role with talking. And I want to know who the character is. I wonder if it was that Farva character, because that guy he's like, now he's getting good roles. But with that budget, comedies, that's what they were saying. Try to make a good comedy back in the day so you can make money off it. Like if you do a good comedy, you can make they don't cost that much money, and you can make a lot of cash. And I think this is an actual comedy. Like they just, I don't know how long. I want to say they probably took forever to shoot every scene, because they probably just want to have fun with it. And once they warmed up and they got the bad scenes out the way, they gave us like the gold scenes. And I mean, they just shows you see the characters, you see the personalities, you see the way they kind of they all get along. And they even Farva's not the one there's like he's like his role number two is way more important than his role number one.
Oh yeah.
I think like he has a way like he's representing like Americans in number two. Number one, he's just like a loaf, kind of dumbass. But I mean, I mean this movie was a big laugh factor for me. I didn't smoke back then, so when I would watch the movie like this, it's like you're watching straight the movie, and then when you watch it, after you like we talked, it's like it's cool, like, oh, okay, like you get it. It slows you down. It's like slow humor, but it's like you can just watch a scene, you just watch a clip of this movie. It's just funny. I feel like I didn't really pay my due diligence to this movie before, and I did watch it a lot, but I don't think I didn't realize how much I really care about this movie. Um, even just even like the main the what I wanted to talk about was we did Ace Ventura, 2 last time, and we did Shikaka, White Devil.
Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
even says that when Thornberry tells Captain, he goes, I mean, Thorny tells the Captain, I'm legit, but I can't talk about these white devils. I was like, oh well, there's two side by sides where they bring a white devil. I was
Right.
like, oh, they're connected. So I'm finding out this organic way of watching movies is kind of cool. They're all kind of slowly related. Like Jaws was fighting me. Now the white devil's fighting me, stalking me. But when I talk about that because it's funny the humor it's not like mean or not derogatory. They're just jokes, man. It's just straight up jokes. Like that one cracks me up too. Like they think I'm Mexican and he's like, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
like that's and then they say it in part 2. He goes, yeah, we got him outside of Home Depot. Like it's like but I just Farva takes things too far, and I like at the end of the movie they show you the kids scene, the school bus scene. Like it's
Yep.
embarrassing, to be a cop and to see that, or to be a state trooper to see that. It's like, wow, it looks too real. It looks like they really really put their time into to make it look as real as possible. The conversations with like Brian Cox and with the captain and Grady, like they have to play they have to like scratch each other's back, and they have to do it even when Farva turns on them. They they get him, they like he's like, you're one of us. Like that was kind of that part. It shows you that Farva kind of he's a cop. He wants to be, that's what he wants to do, but he he goes a little too far on his technique. One piece that I didn't pick up was that when Rabbit was smoking the evidence when he pulls it out of his pocket. Like I didn't pick up that first time, or the millions of times I saw it. I saw this and I was like, oh, he's that, because I go, why does Fargo keep calling him like, yeah, Cheech? What school did you go to, Cheech? Like because that's why he's learning his street slang,
Yeah. It's
Leader of
like, did you learn that back in your Grateful Dead days?
yeah. He's following the dead.
Yeah, following the dead.
Yeah, I like that. And then they have the Leader of Cola scene that's going on right now. Leader of Cola, like
Don't want a goddamn large Farva. I want a liter of cola.
yeah, I get it for a cop. You get spitting it, like they give him a lot of chances, and
Hey, does it look like spit to you?
nah,
Yeah, fuck it.
he does a great job. He does a great job as Farva. He really, even the stupid haircut, it's not even filled in right. Like it's just like,
Dude, and I put this down too, man. It looks like his mustache. I mean, granted, what Foster doesn't have a mustache,
yeah,
but
no,
like
no,
Farva,
oh yeah, no, I don't
yeah,
know,
at least in this one. I think in
yeah,
the second one he does.
yeah,
But Farva's mustache is just like wimpy compared to the other guys, Like
yeah.
it's like he tries so hard to fit in, but he's just like he's missing a few things, a
Yeah,
few hairs.
well, like it's like I think he just shows up and he's like, this is good enough, and it's not like that. There's some standards there, but I mean, he's like he's a loose cannon. Like you really don't want someone on you want him on your team, but you don't want to be around him all the time.
You want the Mac loose cannon, not the Farva loose cannon.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, I feel like Mac is. I mean, Farva is like he's trying to be a good cop, and it's hard for him. Like
Yeah.
he's really trying to be.
Well, and, I mean, honestly, man, like the Farva character is like one of those cops that was probably thought they were hot shit in high school,
It's cool. I could see that. I didn't
and
think about that.
and it's just like that's the kind of cop that you see that's like underqualified, like even out of the bunch that you know they had there, just like somebody who just kind of barely made it and was like, okay, but I'm a cop now, I got authority,
Yeah, I'm a
you
cop.
know and that's human nature though, man, especially with when people don't get out of that mindset or don't you know do other things besides stay in their hometown or whatever it is and become a cop. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't necessarily fault them for that, but damn, dude, you gotta get a little bit more depth to your person.
It seems like that for sure nowadays to communicate with people. You got to be a little bit more not just open, but like you kind of got to update yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're right. I can see that that guy going to the army for 4 years, getting out and going straight to being a cop, and just using that life experience is enough. Maybe just enough. But I mean, he is kind of just has like that small town vibe to him. He really does.
Yeah.
And the way they handle business, it does. I do like that. This is kind of like a small town in Vermont. It's like a up, and it's also like a border town, and it's the northern border. And I think that's cool that they really focus on that part on the second one like a lot.
And to Canada, eh?
Yeah.
And that's whenever they pull him over. It's like getting some what does he say? Something in gravy, fries and gravy. It's called poutine. Like,
yeah. Oh god, did we give him a Canadian handshake? What is that? That's all it has to do with hockey pucks and gravy. Sounds delicious.
Oh man. So do you want to jump into Super Troopers 2, man?
Yeah, let's do it,
like
dude.
I said, I got Cracklin' Bacon. I mean, is there ever been a better band name than Cracklin' Bacon?
I was trying to think about that. I was like, I think that is one of the best damn band names.
And that whole sequence too, man. Like I went, okay, so you asked earlier, like, if it could be a standalone movie, if you could just like go in and watch this. I did go see it in theaters. I went and saw it with two people that I was working with at the time. The guy had seen Super Troopers, probably a handful of times. Probably not near as many as I had. But man, I was pumped for this movie. Like, I was ready to go see it. And then the girl, man, she had no idea. She was actually she wasn't from America. She grew up in Japan, I think. Mm-hmm. So she had like,
none of the references, none of the cultural references.
None of them.
Oh, but even so, you saw number 2, so that means that there's a lot of Canadian references too.
Yeah. So, I mean, but even then, dude, I don't know whether she was just laughing at us, laughing at this movie, but man, she was cracking up too. So I feel like that, it could have been, you could go into this movie without seeing the first one. If you showed this movie, now, would I recommend it? No. I think you will enjoy it more if you have the one than the two. Mm-hmm. You get the glittering and you get the enhance. You get the
enhance. Oh, the enhance. Why does he do that? Enhance.
Enhance.
But also in the computer in the first one, why does he do that? Like, enhance. Just print the goddamn thing.
He's trying to be like Foster in the second one, man. He's trying to be the tech guy.
Oh, okay,
he's trying to, and he's probably just trying to piss the captain off too. Because the way he's looking at it is like, enhance, just like he has that goofy ass grin on.
Do you think that Thorny and the captain have like a father-son kind of bond?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I picked up on that.
And I think that Thorny and Mac have probably swung a little bit too.
I can see that.
It would make sense.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because Mac likes crazy stuff, and Thor's like, yeah, whatever. Who wants a mustache ride? Oh, I do. I do too.
I do too. Yeah, man. But yeah, dude. So, kind of getting back to that first sequence. I mean, the way they set it up, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a crazy ride. Like they're gonna be musicians and they're going to be on the road. I wonder how it's going to get back to like them being cops, and just like first initial thought. And I'm pretty sure whenever I went to go see this, I was just stoned out of my mind too. Yeah, dude, it was a great first sequence. It got you into the movie. It like shocks you a little bit. You're like, you just got shot.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, Thorny's dead. Like, what happened? And then, like you said, you have the cameos with Sean William Scott, excuse me, and Damon Wayans Jr. Which Damon Wayans Jr. He had just come off that movie Let's Be Cops.
Oh yeah.
With is it Jake Johnson or something like that?
Something like
I think that's who it is. So he was kind of fresh off of that, and then Sean William Scott is like, what was it that Mac asked Rabbit? He was like, who was it this time? He was like, oh, Stifler and Damon Wayans Jr. Like, he didn't even say Sean Williams. He said Stifler, man. Like, I love that, dude.
I didn't catch that. He says that?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it was Stifler and Damon Wayans Jr. He's like, who pulled you over this time?
Oh, and I didn't catch. Oh, in the dream.
Yeah, in the dream.
Oh, I never caught that. I didn't catch it because who wakes him up? Mac wakes him up, doesn't he? Oh no, it's Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
oh, it's a
Farva.
Farva, but who tells him then? I didn't catch that part.
It was Mac.
Mac,
It
okay.
was yeah, because isn't that a funny group to be working together too? Like you have Mac, Farva, and
Oh,
Rabbit.
at the working at like construction site, dude.
Oh,
But and it's also like Farva needs that authority figure. He's the supervisor.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then Thorny's out there chopping down wood. I could totally see that. Mountain Man. What the hell's Foster been doing? He's
Well, no,
probably just living off Ursula.
that's what he's been doing. Yeah, that's what it showed you. He's just like a kept guy. Like she just takes care
Right,
of him. Like she
riding
works.
in the sidecar.
He's sidecar. Like he has like a fishing lure, like a net. Like he's just lazy. He's just like a guy.
He's going fishing, man.
Yeah, he's like a the sidecar. Like that. She's like, yeah, this is my bitch right here. I got him. Like he's got my side.
Yeah. And then she's chief of police, which is,
Yeah, she shows her what she did. She was able to accomplish, and that's what I like about that. Like, it gives like every character has a purpose in this movie, and it gives them life. And the second one, with the Clifton Collins Jr. character too, he's like all cool driving the bus. He's a great actor, and then he's like playing the cool laid back like driver, and then you have the Sean William Scott character he plays like this weird cop, like a square. He does a good job at it, because even when they're gonna kiss, he's like, when they're dancing, he's dancing all stiff, and then even when they're gonna kiss, he's like, he's gonna do it. They're like, nah, okay, good, like kiss him. Like that was funny. Like,
and then Mac even asked him, was like, did they kiss? Like this close? Like, so yeah, man, this has been a recurring dream for old Rabbit for a while.
I mean, the cool thing is also keep him as a rookie. Rabbit, he's still a rookie. Like he's like, well, I'm not. And I like that they brought that up. Who's the when Mac is talking? Who's the weakest? The least rank?
Oh, you have to shave his balls.
And even that he ends up having to still have his balls shaved, but because he didn't shave his balls right then and there, the bad curse happened. So I thought that was funny. Yeah. Also when Brian Cox or the captain goes, Max trying to tell him about text messaging. He's like, "Oh, you mean mail text?" Like, he does a good job, man. Brian Cox really he sells it, man. I love him in this movie. He's a great.
Farva's caulk joke is like caulk. Got some hot caulk right here.
It was
everybody does that. Like everybody. Okay, maybe not everybody.
No, we all do that. We all do that.
I mean,
we all do that.
That's just. But I mean, and that just kind of shows you, like, okay, we all got a little bit of Farva in us.
Well, that's what she's talking about. You're waiting for that. As soon as you see them, you're like, when he says it right away. That's the first thing he says. So it's like you expect Farva to say that. You really do.
Yeah. He's a supervisor, but he's still trying to fit in.
He's still trying to. Well, no, he's just obnoxious. He don't care. He's just gonna say what he's gonna say.
Too.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm getting from him. I have a lot about the Mounties, man. The Canadian translation.
Oh.
That is so funny. The metric system thing they keep bringing up, the math, like he's 148, he's 147 inches, meters tall. Like,
deal with it.
Yeah, like everybody. Why'd you get like the rest of the world? Like,
yeah, dude, I love Thorny's reaction. Is like, I don't know if he's calling me fat or like, I don't know what's going on here.
They do. They Will Sasso. I love Will Sasso in this movie, man. Like, I've always been a Will Sasso fan. I follow him on Instagram.
He is Canadian.
He's good. Yeah, so like the way he does like the Canadian accents, the faces. He's the big guy. I love the scene where they don't know who calls during hockey. We might as well deliver pizza in overtime. Like that whole scene. And by the way, I wanted to throw this in there that I just got back from my hometown, which is down on the border, and that movie is about a border, but the northern part, and I relate to it very well. Like they captured it, like how it feels to be kind of in the middle. And I was like I think I did go in with 2 when I watched it the way he did at the I mean it was on 420. I went and I was like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this. And I remember laughing my ass off, and I don't remember it leaving me a feeling of like, okay. And I heard some people before had bashed it, so I kind of went a little bit biased. But I was like, nah, it'll be good. It was still good, but I didn't realize till I focused on it that it is really good, really, really good. It's exceptionally well. A lot.
Like you said, man, I mean, we're pretty much looking at the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
They did the same movie twice. It has the same kind of deal, but it's almost like they threw in some different jokes, like you were saying with the Mounties, like the Danny DeVito thing. You were like, it's like, this you're talking about the guy from Taxi. You know, it's like it's the same guy. That can't be the same guy. They're from two different areas. Like, and then the other guy gets in on it. He's like, "Oh, you know who my favorite Batman villain is? It's the Penguin." He's like, "That's fucking Danny DeVito, man." And he just like sleeps.
No, I think Will Sasso says that, and the other guy says it from Danny DeVito is he says another no because Will Sasso says the Penguin, and then he gets up and leaves, and then that guy stays in there with him, and he said, "Oh, what movies does he say? I don't think I wrote it down." But whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to correct you. But the
No.
The part where he says it, and then that I feel like I'm that guy when I'm sometimes in my hometown. I'm trying to explain, and then I'm like, these guys are fucking they're doing it to me on purpose, and I'm falling for it. I can't stop. I can't help myself. I just did it this weekend. I just did it with my dad and my uncle, and I'm like, why am I doing this? But like I'm the monkey in the middle, and I'm like, I don't. Why am I here? I know I shouldn't be here, but I'm going through the motions, and that seems that's funny. That cracks me up because he's like I get he that guy sells the scene. I don't know that actor very well, but he sells it so well how he sells it where he really feel like he's getting pissed off, like he's really upset. He's like, you're like, come on, it's the same fucking guy. Like I don't mean to get like that, but it's like well then you find out I do know he don't know that I know that you know that Danny DeVito, and then the other guy jumps in on it. And by the way, that other guy, the guy from the Chuck and Dale versus Evil. Or
Yeah.
I think, like he does a great. I had to go back when I saw the movie. I did have to go and Google it.
He's Canadian as well.
Yeah, so they actually have Canadian actors.
Yeah, Hayes MacArthur is the other guy who you're talking about. He is right. Not Canadian.
He does a good job.
He's from Illinois though.
I like the
close.
I mean, but he capture it. I mean, you have two Canadians, and that guy's not Canadian, and he blends in with them. But also too, since you know the handshake, the back handshake, they do like that a lot. You know, they say something like, "Yo, we're right," like that. Like that's kind of like a little cocky thing. What was I gonna say? With those Mounties, like I don't know. It's kind of like they're kind of like pricks. You know, kind of like they treat everybody like when they're kind of like talk shit to the Americans. The town meeting, everything's like this planned to like beat them up. Everything like they are actually trying to be by the book. And then there's a point where they said because they do say the three topics. They're like, you know. They threw the bear. They've beat them up. They're throwing pucks at them. I've been beat up by prostitutes, male and female. You know, it's time for us to fight back. And then they do fight back, and they build it up for you, and you get to that sense like, oh crap, they're kicking ass. Like they're not messing around. And but they do try to do the right thing, and it doesn't work out for them. So they had to go and do it this route, and the way they know, and they mess them up. Fortunately, it works for them. But the performance of what's the other guys? I'm sorry, not the MacArthur guy, but the guy from the Chuck and Dale. He did such a.
It's Tyler Labine.
Labine, okay, that he did such a great performance. I had to go. I think it's that guy because he lost weight for this role,
yeah.
Or just he lost weight. So so when I saw, I was like, oh man, he does a really good job because his voice is very monotone. It never changes. It stays like there, and. It's like the northern, but when you go to the border, it's kind of like that, but it's a little lower. They do more of a low, and then I guess because we're in the south, but when you go towards the north, it's a nasally, or I guess, and it sounds like this. And I'm like, wow, we have that south version of that. I know the south version of that, and this movie was just really like pulling my strings. I was like, this is so cool because there is a difference, and I love their versions of Canadians. Like I have God. They're super rude. You know, they have him, and he goes, yeah, what are you probably going to tell us to stop listening to Rush and our bare naked ladies?
Oh, so you are telling us what to listen to. And then what does that one guy say? He's like, this one's probably going to start making us eat tortillas.
They close up on Thorny. He's like, what? He's going to make us eat tortillas. That's like when they do that, the Canadians, like they're just like rude and yelling. That's funny, man. That reminds me that my hometown has the town hall meetings online on Facebook, and I'll check it, chime in on them. It's exactly like that. Just yelling at the city people.
Dude, well, yeah, man. And so what I thought was pretty funny is like whenever the guys first go over into Canada, you have that border guard right there who's just like so Canadian, right? Like just like you're stereotypical Canadian. Like, oh, I was neck deep in walleye last week, you know.
Tits up to my tits in walleye.
Up into my tits in walleye.
I don't even know what is walleye. It's a fish.
It's a fish, yeah. And but Yeah, dude. Like, I just thought it was so funny because, like, then they just like go on about Canada, dude, and they just like bash and bash and bash. And then, I mean, I watch South Park all the time. I'm
Yeah,
not, any. I've seen Canada jokes. Like, I've
yeah.
seen Canadian jokes. They're all about it. But then you get up to Canada, man, and they just throw it right back at them. They have the American jokes, and I love it, dude. It's like, it's like, yeah, like what you were saying about the metric is like, yeah, just subtract by 32, divide by this, and get on the metric system like like the
No.
rest of the fucking world,
That's like, dude, nah. And but then at me, like, inside my mind, I'm like, well, I'm American, so I'm proud of that. So no, I'm not going to change that. Like, like you changing me. Um, but it's so I do like when he says it, like, did you catch that guy in the beginning, the checkpoint? He's like sets the bar for they did like they did a perfect like segue with him. He's like he's letting you know that this is how it's gonna be. And how do you say?
Yeah.
What does he say? He goes, "I caught a seven metrics." He's like, "Was that big?" Oh yeah, from snout to toe. If it's 9 decimeters, like he's like, "What you?" He's like very, he doesn't. I don't know. He's a funny character, man. He's just
Yeah,
like, yeah.
man.
He's if
Well,
you
what was you gonna say? Sorry.
no, he's just the way he is, kind of cocky, but kind of just. I feel like they're making him like that because he's around American, so he's thinking like they're lesser than him. But it's that's just like that's what they even try to say that we're like we're all kind of American, North American, and they try to be cool
Hmm.
about it, and it doesn't work.
Oh,
And he goes, yeah, you're gonna talk bad about us. We're gonna get some Canadian tomatoes, the hockey
hockey
pucks.
pucks.
It's like everything always goes back to like some kind of hockey form. Oh, even like when they do
Oh,
the drugs, it says a highway patrol. It was a way high patrol. Like
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of cool. That
Oh
they
man.
they're trying to
Yeah,
be.
and then the Flova Scotia. Oh, that's just hilarious.
He gets hooked on
Oh,
it.
but yeah. Oh, but going back to that acid trip scene, dude, that was fantastic. And actually, like I said, the girl that I went to go see the movie with, man, she always did that where she would like cover her mouth whenever she would laugh. And so I saw that and I turned to her and just started busting out laughing, man. Like that was, oh, it
Dude,
was
I feel
great.
when I saw that movie, this one at the movie theaters, I did laugh a lot. The second one, I did find every character. I just didn't realize I was watching the same movie. When you watch them back to back, you're like, oh, you can compare them real easy.
Yep.
I like that there is growth in the characters. I like that they do different things now. I do like it. I do like I said, Brian Cox's character, the captain is either drunk or sober in this movie, and both of them. So you see their tendencies. You see the way they go back into what they are. Even in the first one, Denim Dan, Canadian tuxedo. There's a Canadian joke in there. What are you doing? Wearing a
Yeah.
Canadian tuxedo? It's all Levi. What are you wearing a Canadian
Yeah.
tuxedo? There. The what else do I got? I got a lot, dude. I got a lot of stuff for the second one. I mean,
Dude, oh,
I feel like I could
so Farva, oh no, I was
no, no,
just
no,
gonna
go.
say the loser cuts his toe off bet with Farva, dude. Like just like the bets, man. He's like, all right, we'll do this, we'll do that. All right, no, loser cuts off their toe. Like you just get more of Farva, but it's not as much of a dick Farva. It's just a stupid Farva, you
Yeah.
know. Swallowing the M&M's whole is like
What is that?
what? Yeah, and then they give him the pill. He's like, you chew the pills, but you swallow M&M's whole. Even the captain's just like,
What does he say?
what's the matter with you?
I'm a
Yeah,
complicated person.
I'm a complicated person.
Yeah, he looks always do that. It's they catch out to it, I think with two, yeah, that part. What was I gonna say? When they do the drugs and you start
Hmm.
finding out that he's on steroids, and then he's on like some like the downer, and then the guy's on acid, and the float that he gets hooked addicted to that. Even he even gets it at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, and he's getting all the side effects, and he doesn't stop
Hmm.
it. He says like the orgasms are explosive.
Dish. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, even when they pull out even the second one, they pull out the mustache regulator. That's funny, man. Yeah,
Dude.
that
Oh yeah, dude. So kind of a callback to one of I'm just gonna say Jay because I don't want to butcher his last name
yeah,
any
no,
more than
I
I
don't
have
blame
to.
you.
So Jay actually directed the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Yes.
And so they had that bet, like if they broke any moonshine, they got hit with a telephone book. And that's what they do to Farva in this. Whenever he goes, he takes his, what was it, the muscle relaxers, and they're just like,
Oh, so that's part of Dukes of Hazzard. He threw it in there.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. I mean, that's my guess. Either that or they used to do that to each other, and that made it into Dukes of Hazzard, and then it also made it into
Is
this.
it
But
Bruce Wayne?
that is a little bit of a connection there. And Sean William Scott was in that too.
Yeah,
So
it's true. He was one of these with Johnny Knoxville and Jessica
yeah,
Simpson. When
hmm
everybody used to love her, and then they turned on her. the
yeah.
pancake, the pancake jokes are funny too, man. All the way the Canadians do, like they're, oh, Rob, like, okay, we're gonna get oatmeals and raisins, no pancakes, and then
Pancakes.
when they hey, ghee, it's like that's even like a cool ghee. Rob loves Canadian
Yeah.
hey, ghee, you're a hero, a hockey player who owned a whorehouse. Like, that was your hero. But even at the end of the movie, man, what's up? What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say whenever they're in the brothel and he's like, sorry,
Oh yeah.
and he's making fun of the way they say, because like
They
that's
flip it
just
on you. It's like no,
yeah,
we
dude.
say it right. No, you say it right. No, we say it right.
And
It's
then
just
it's almost like, okay, yeah, you're in America, of course you're gonna make fun of Canadians, and then whenever you're in Canada, of course they're gonna make fun of Americans. And this was coming right off the heels of Trump getting elected too. So he's like, you come up here with that "Make America
yeah,
Great,"
great. He threw it
you
in
know,
there.
yeah. So I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. I honestly, like, I think it's funny, that you can. It wasn't a big part of it. It was just like a little deal in there, but loved it.
No, I mean he's being
Better than
honest.
man.
He's being pretty honest when he says that because he's like you say you guys want to come and change like kind of change it, and that's what he's right. He's right about that. You're
Mhm.
trying to take our it is like a territorial thing. I actually enjoyed the ending too because there's a very sentimental part there where Thorny saves Will Sasso's character. And then he says he even saved my life, and they're like, "Have a." That's a beautiful thing about they actually capture it. Like we're all like we all can get along when we need each other, and then all of a sudden as soon as it turns in that we don't like they don't want us there anymore. Like oh the hell with you guys. Like, well, I just saved your life. Yeah, whatever. What have you done for me lately? It's like you just say it just saved your life. It's like they turn on you, and that's how it really is. I feel like most of the time people they just well I have the upper hand now. I'm gonna screw you over, and they don't understand or I don't know. It's a good little ending. I think just that I didn't think I was gonna like Super Troopers as much as I really did. When I really sit down and give the movie its respect like you're supposed to, and just shut up and listen and see what they got to offer and help you scratch some parts of your brain that needs to be scratched, or some maybe heal your soul, maybe touch your heart, anything, something like that. And these movies do that. They're not stoner movies, but you can get high and watch them. They're fun, but
Yeah.
they're really complicated movies, but they're just very simple. And I think I'm learning as a filmmaker simple is good. Anything that you do, don't overdo it. Don't you don't like. I think about cooking. With cooking, you need a few ingredients. Cocktails. I do not put more than 5 ingredients in a cocktail. It's gonna taste gross. So it's like you start learning what to do when you're preparing, and then filmmaking is the same way. You got if there's a like a recipe and ingredients to do, and I like that I'm seeing it with these movies. I like the way these guys work. I would like my whole thing is like I'm trying to get us the Broken Lizard style, so you get the crew going. It's just meeting each other and just talking about and I didn't realize just talking about movies that I enjoy is really building up inside of me because there's a reason why I enjoy them. And like I mean, like I was saying, even Fargo, like even the scene right here, the first one, Fargo finds them in the car with his Trans Am. Like he knows how to do the job. He just might do it. He might know it too well, or maybe he has a little mental health problems or something. But he's still a cop. He's the only one there that's actually a cop. And then that's when they
Mhm.
make fun of Foster, like, oh yeah, like when did you actually become a cop? He's because he's like Ursula already did everything for him, so he's just kind of going through the motions. And in the second one, it's more than these guys are just don't mess with them and see what's gonna happen. And then or like, you keep messing with them, they're gonna get you. Even the bear scene, it was kind of crazy with Farva wearing a bloody shirt that said "Eat me," and then they see the bear's massive, and
Mhm.
they even have like a good point with Farva. They let him say his jokes, and they're like, "All right, it's enough." There's a grizzly. It's a he's talking about those. They let him. They're like, "All right, shoot him." Who? Farva. He's like, That's a good. Matt goes, it's a good idea." You
I
just
barely made
I
it.
barely, yeah. I mean, I mean, the Fred Savage thing is fun. I'm happy that they showed it. Get hit by by the bus. I love that they also showed out the bloopers at the end of part two. When you start seeing like your imperfections, it makes it feel for me like all right, I know that they mess up too, so just keep going. And then the scene with well, I mean, I like the ending. I like the way they ended too, where they show the names of the characters with the part of the movie they're in. And
Mhm.
I like how they ended it on the first one. I don't remember. I mean, they did something similar to the second one. Just real quick on the first one, like Fargo actually like they did this twice. They did a penis they showed penis in both the movies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Full frontal nudity.
yeah, it's kind of like I guess it's just one of the, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, I didn't need to see Fargo. I don't know why he went all that far. Why he went
I
to
mean, it was honestly, I mean, you get a group of guys like that in one of the movies, you know, it was probably a dare. I mean, it was probably the cut off your toe kind of thing. Is like, I bet you won't show your dick on camera.
Yeah, I
You
can
know,
see it.
the
Those
second
guys.
one was obvious. I really hope it was a prosthetic because
Yeah,
he was handbagging. He was like,
speed bagging his dick.
you know, yeah.
He's speed bagging. It says a workout. Like, I hope that's not. But yeah, but every time he hits it, the guy goes up. So I'm like, I hope that's not really your dick. I hope those not really punching your dick, man. Like, but it's like, yeah, like they really. I was like, they show that. So that's another that really pushes them. Like, they shows these guys are pushing the boundaries. Like, they'll show entertaining, but look at this. Like, to be honest with you, there's a lot of crazy things they could have put, you know, but the guy penis for a split second. All right, it just when you see it, it does kind of go, huh? Like, it does give you like, okay, I'm like, all right, well, that's what it did. Okay, they put that in there.
It was kind of like forgetting Sarah Marshall
Yeah,
too.
Jason
Whenever he
Segel.
just
Why did I didn't, yeah, and it's like I spoke to, I mean, I saw an interview with Jason Segel, and he said, yeah, I'm just gonna go with it, and I said, that's my turn to just show it off. And I was like, "What? He actually prepared for that?" Like, he was like, yeah." I was like, "Nah, I can't. I don't want to watch that movie for that scene sometimes." And I'm a huge Jason Segel fan, but I was like, just because of that scene, I'm like, I don't know why they throw it in there. But I guess the Farva thing too, because it's kind of like, it's not. I don't know. I don't want to talk about his penis, but it's just kind of like, like if I show this to like my brother or something, my younger brother, I'd be like, I wouldn't warm him about it. I was like, yeah, it's whatever. Like, that's the other one seems a little bit more X-rated, where the guy where Rob was actually like playing with it.
yeah.
So it seems
There's
a
only
little.
one movie where you have to warn people about a swinging dick, and that's Watchmen, because that thing
Oh
is just
God,
out
yeah.
of,
I thought you
you
were gonna say
know.
Boogie Nights. It's like Mark Wahlberg does that shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like that one guy. I was like, I don't want. Why the fuck? No, yeah, you're right. I in Watchmen, I think that's the only part I didn't watch, man. Like, I was like, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like digitalized, so somebody had to draw that shit. Like, what?
yeah.
Yeah, just put underwear on. Come on, damn it. Um, just
Thank God
superhero.
he did whenever he was huge. You know, that
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
been
Oh,
in
that would.
Vietnam. Oh man, he could have knocked some people out with that thing. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No, for
yeah,
the
man.
PP talk. No, but for what they what these movies are rated, and what they're like, what people see in them. Like, I think what I'm seeing, I'm just looking at the IMDb right now. I'm not moving to the Rotten Tomatoes yet. I
Yeah.
think I mean, we could talk about part two. There's like a lot of stuff in here that I love. I mean, even the Farva and Mac relationship too. You know, it shows them, like, the way they interact. Like in the first one where he goes, hey Mac, you want to go toe to toe, and he has the two beers in his hand at that like mixer, that he just punches him right in the groin, right in the nuts. He goes, oh, I didn't specify. I didn't specify. Like,
Yeah,
he's
good
like,
job.
he's having a good time. Like, he's that kind of
Yeah.
guy. And then you get the Farva and the Canadian one. He's kind of like more like kind of gross, but he's still kind of like Farva. But yeah, I didn't specify. Like, those little scenes like that crack me up. I love a lot of those stuffs. What do you call it? Oh yeah, and then I love that they both have a love story. So Rabbit falls in love in this one. So they still kind of, it's the same. It is kind of like the same exact movie. It's just a different like skin cover or something. But they do it well. It's like just a modernized version. I feel they just kind of modernize. It's like it's with the times a little bit more.
And it was like you had two twists in this one. Like, oh no, she's working with Guy, and then oh wait, no, she's actually, you know, a cop. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why you would really be attracted to her, because she's a cop. Obviously, she is pretty attractive, and she has that French accent, la vagine. She said that. I was like, that's nice. You know,
I like when she says, "Why me up? You had me put you made me have sex with uncircumcised penis." Like,
smell like hot dog.
why does she have to say that too? Like, that's so dumb. Like, they really pick on that Canadian part. Her name is Emmanuel, or it's hard. Let me look it up real quick.
Ooh,
It's
yeah,
hard.
I'm not touching
It's
that
hard.
one.
It's hard. If you're not, let's see, because I think I haven't heard anybody say it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, want to mess it up. I'm already known for this. Where is she at? I didn't see her.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Is that Emmanuel?
And then it's
Sharik. That's my guess. Sharik.
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 Sharik. Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Genevieve.
Yeah, Jenny, she does a great job. She makes you fall in love with her. Like she does a really good job. She was in on Entourage, and she did a good job then as a girlfriend. Um, but I mean, for this movie, she does. She's every line she's in. I mean, every scene she's in, she's kind of like breathtaking, cute, and like I see why she does like a perfect like she's like I've been on this case for 3 years. It's like she's like serious, you know. She's not like the person you think she is, and she's like when you find out she's like oh she's a ball buster. She's like a really hard ass. I like the Linda Carter character. She has more. I feel like she has more scenes in this one, but I like that when she shows up, she has like they do like always like a Wonder Woman like quote in there. I know I forgot what the one they used in the first one, but they kind of show her like that she's Wonder Woman and she's powerful. And she's the strongest one in the whole like the I guess office about that. The
Yeah,
offices. I mean,
she's the governor. No, you know what I really liked in the first one is well, not really liked, but I thought was kind of funny with her scene is whenever she was like, "So why are we here?" Oh, it's a drug bust. It's like cocaine. It's like
yeah,
marijuana. It's like then why are we here? You
yeah.
know, like I
She's
thought
just doing. She's like they have to just inform her. And she just shows up, takes pictures. Like she does a real politician. She's a good one. Oh, the fake French man, the fake French. They're just saying like cordon bleu and the
no,
ratatouille,
you know,
ratat.
a penis
Yeah,
in the
that's cool.
asshole. You know, like well,
Happiness.
and yeah, happiness in the household. But you know, and they like you said, I mean, these two movies are, I mean, they're essentially the same, man. I mean, they go and they discredit the cops in the first one,
Mhm.
you know, and they come and discredit the Mounties in this one. You have a woman who is pretty much pulling the strings in the background that you
Yeah,
don't really know. I mean, you throughout the movie, you're like, all right, Rob Lowe, obviously not the good guy. You know,
yeah.
he's being nice, but he's just being a dick about everything
Mhm.
in a nice way.
And it's because they're
Um,
losing their lifestyle, and then that's what they don't want.
yeah, and
Um,
oh, sorry, go for it.
no, keep on. You go. You.
Oh no,
I was
I was
gonna
kind of
say
done with that.
with you knowing that about the storyline, do you think you could write like Super Troopers 3 to be able to kind of do it the same way?
Oh, I
Like
don't know
what
if you
like
could do it a third time.
what would you what does it take to make a good prequel?
If
Like
if I was gonna do a Super Troopers 3, it would be a prequel.
is it a prequel?
I think they would go back to the 70s. It wouldn't necessarily be
Oh wow, that would be
you know what I'm saying?
cool. That would be
Like
cool if
because
they.
you would have Brian Cox in there, but a younger Brian Cox. You know, it would be like
I would
getting
actually
these
take.
traditions started.
I think even at their age now, I think I would go and make it in the but make them from the 70s. What kind of like put them in how they are now, but in the time frame the 70s. What would the Super Troopers do with
What would they?
what would they do in the 70s? How would they? But like or I don't know, because you get
Or maybe
the
even the 80s. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what
I would
time
like to I
period.
would like to see these actors though. I wouldn't want to see like someone else play them.
No, they would be like playing their fathers or like somebody that you
Okay,
know, you know what I'm saying,
that'd be
or
cool.
like
Yeah, yeah,
somebody that Brian Cox was like, "All right, Mac, like
yeah. I get you.
I've
I
seen
get
you
it.
before," kind of thing. You know, like
Yeah, I mean
um,
I think for third one, like yeah, I think it'd be too hard. I don't know if they're ever gonna do it. I would love to see what else these guys are working on.
yeah,
Their movies are amazing. They really do like. Even when I started thinking about this, now I started thinking about Club Dread, and I like it way more. I remember I liked it when I first saw it. I didn't get the ha that I wanted, but then I realized
hmm
I saw it again, and I was like, I like this movie. It's kind of more. It is a horror movie. It's not a slapstick comedy. It's a horror movie, but it has a lot of
yeah,
comedy and it's dark comedy. But it's funny where I enjoyed it like the third or fourth time I saw it. And I mean I've always enjoyed Super Troopers 1, and then part 2 is like I said the second time I saw it, and I like really was like I really love it. It does hit home for me. It does strike a chord, but I enjoy like I just enjoy going along the journey with these guys do. I want to see what else they got to do, because Beer Fest by far, I don't know if the kid in me was who saw Beer Fest will always love that movie a little bit more than Super Troopers, but now the adult is like, dude, I love Super Troopers. Like I put it up there with Beer Fest, and I don't even think I'd have Beer Fest in my top 10. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like now, just kind of seeing everything, and it's just like the way they made it, and like they even show some time passing where they show like the right now when they're the cops, and they show up and Farva now has a decent haircut, you know. And then though they make you see Mac with the fake mustache, but you think he has one, and you see how they all kind of like Mac grew his hair out a little bit. You start to see a little bit difference in the characters, but for the most part, they are who they are, and I like seeing that, like that they did that in that movie, that they're able to show you them still being who they are, even though they look a little different. I mean, this is the way they ended. The way they ended partying. Like they ended up like the Super Troopers. I mean, the Broken Lizard guys are just gonna party their asses off. Like they just want to like make a good movie. And I like that they know how to write. They make good stuff. It's not you can really just I don't know. You really like. I don't want to say relate. If you, I don't know if this is a relatable movie, but it does bring a lot of humor, a lot of funny like what ifs, you know. And I like the fact that all the characters are always in the scene. They're always in this. They're always they know how to play the scene together. They know how to do things like, I guess I can see why Farva doesn't like Rabbit too much. He's the rookie and he gets more respect than him, and Farva's been there longer. You can see a lot of that. But Farva's just that guy, man. You're gonna be like that. We're gonna crap on you, and that's just how it is. And you see it in the second one with that girl, like, oh, my employee, my coworker, he's he's an idiot. And I don't know, I feel that with the second one, they gave us everything else and amplified it and modified it a little bit better. I don't feel like they pulled a Houdini or anything where they sold the same product twice. It feels like the same story, but it's just different, man. It's not the same. It's not. It's a funny. They're both funny. I definitely gonna rank Super Troopers 1 higher than I would rank 2, but 2 is definitely gonna be like at least for sure my top 50. Maybe for sure, I think it'll definitely be in my top 50 movies. Maybe part 2. Oh, I don't know. I probably know more. Super Troopers at least gonna be my top 100 for sure. So, part 2, because number 1 is in my top 10, and the reason it would be in my top 10 is because just everything I know. The more I learn about the movie, how it was made, like I makes me as a independent guy like kind of really want to do it more. It inspires me to do it more. It makes me want to really kind of like, just if they can do it, you can do it, and you can see it. And it's okay like to be like, it's okay to have crappy work when you first started, because it shows where your growth is. And if you don't have any growth, then just keep making crappy work, and there's no point. You just got to get better, got to figure out how to do it. And I think they show us in that movie they didn't have to go too far. They didn't have to really pull out the stops too much on the. I mean, they pulled out the stops, but like they didn't have to. They didn't try to. They just kind of matched it a little bit. They mirrored it, and I believe is what the word I'm trying to say. So to do a third one would be really hard.
Yeah,
Really,
I mean, it would have to be. It would have to be like a. It would have to be a new story. Like it would have to. I mean, I think kind of what we were saying last week, about the Hangover trilogy. I mean, you have the first one, and the second one's, I mean, pretty much repeating that situation. And the third one, it's like trying to wrap up everything and tie it all together. And they have enough. Like I said, I mean, until we started talking, I didn't even put together they had Canadian contacts in that Vermont town.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could have been running that a lot longer. Also, they're still a province of Canada, or they're still in Canada. So what's going to happen to Rob Lowe? Is he in any trouble?
Yeah.
Like what's the deal there? I mean, yeah, he tried to kill some mountains and stuff, or Mounties and stuff like that, but he's a legend. If Canada's anything like America, you can get off if you have enough money or you have enough pull.
Yeah.
He did mention, he was like, "Oh, I know Justin Trudeau. He's my good friend."
Yeah, he does.
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could potentially bring something like that back, but I feel like if they went backwards instead of forwards with the story that they have now, it would be a little bit more entertaining, and they can do something fresh but still familiar.
I think with what we're at with what these guys are and the way they shoot, I wouldn't care what direction they went. I just want to see if they can make us laugh again. I like the Hangover 3. You're right. It does try to tie the ends, and because I think these movies, like, you would just pick up right where you left off. You don't have to. The characters they unfold in front of you as you go along with the journey, so you don't really have to like explain everything. You just show it. And it's up to us to interpret it what it is, and I like that. The movie definitely meets you halfway. The both of them. I would just say that the first one now, like I said, I like it a little bit. I like it more than the second one. I think it's because I know a lot more about it, and just like when you look on the when you're looking in the credits, like their names pop out like on certain like technical positions where they're like I'm like the actors are actually doing other parts too, like electrical and stuff. Um, I would say I feel comfortable rating number one right now.
Let's do it.
I think like I think we unlocked the code today. This one is definitely in my top 10. I would give this one a 13 out of 13.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is
I think this is our first 13, isn't it?
is that something like that? Well, I kind of gave one with Bedazzled, but that's because I was like, I'm
Okay.
learning. I'm learning, but what I'm trying to say is this is a superstar one because Bedazzled is one of my top movies, but I don't know if it falls like a 10 or 11. But I do know Super Troopers is going to be in my top 10. It might be like 6 or 7. But as I'm doing this, as we're going through movies, I'm rating them as I'm figuring them out. What I'm liking, which one would I prefer to watch, and I want to say this the everything about Super Troopers. I love the editing, the shooting, the acting, the writing, the writing. It's so good. The story is so good. Um, the reason I say it's a 13 because like I say the zero the 1 through 10 is a more of like the standard, and a 13 is that cream on top. Well, this is all cream for me. Like you can learn so much as once you find something like this movie and you could sink your teeth into it, and not just the movie itself. The reason I also give 13s will be something that it does outside of the movies that they shows you, like how they got there, the steps they got. There's a lot of material on that. Their interviews, they when you talk to people, when you see the interviews when they talk to reporters or whatever, like you get to feel like, oh, they really put their hard work into it. Broken Lizard guys they get it. I don't know what it is about them. They understand the story very well. They understand how to deliver cinema, and it's weird. There's 5 of them, and they work so well together. So this is a 13 for me because I don't know. I working with people is hard, and I see the way they are, and they just make it look so easy. I don't know if they have issues. I don't know if they get into it, but it's like they like it. They like each other enough to like keep making these movies, and I hope they keep making them. And keep making them their style, and then we just learn to adapt ourselves a little bit more to it because I watched that movie. It was when it came out. It was in 2016, like 4 years ago. So was it? Wait, let me make sure. I don't want to.
Which one?
The
Which one was
second
that?
one, 2018. No,
2018.
in
Yeah.
2018. Yeah, so
Yeah.
2 years
So it
ago.
was
Oh,
only
well,
2 years ago.
see, that's what I'm saying. I think they can squeeze the third one out. I think 20. I mean, I don't know, depending on how the regulations are shooting now, but I feel like they'd be able to like to do it. There's been 2 years. Let's see what they're at. I want to know where
Well,
the
like I said, man, they have. I mean, in IMDb, they have one that is slated. It's Super Troopers 3, Winter Soldiers.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's how we got into this
So
conversation. I think.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think.
so I mean, there's definitely potential there. It's just where they're gonna go with it, man. And the only thing they have in trivia, which is really trivial, this will be the third Super Troopers movie, making it the first trilogy for Broken Lizard. That's all they have so far. So there's not a whole lot, going on. Let's see here. Sometimes they have like news about. No, I don't even
Yeah,
see that right now. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're sitting at. There's really
but but with
nothing new.
with one I guess no, that's good. You're reading. Just get your, and then we'll go into the what critics
Oh
ratings.
yeah,
And then that's why. But I mean, for I don't know if I really sold it as a 13, but I just feel like when you really see the craftsmanship, I think as long as you still see like creators, still filmmakers or artists or whatever you want to call them, as long as they're still doing it, like as they get older and they don't stop and they still produce really good material, I think that's what I look at the overall performance, not just day one or what it did on the box office or what it meant to me. I mean everything. Like, and I think this movie's grown on me. I didn't have a problem with it on the loop. Like I would just walk in and we see it, and it didn't bother me. We didn't have cable, so I didn't care. So we just put this movie on the loop, and it's more than what it is. It's more than just background noise. It's a sit down and understand film, an independent film, and that's what I like. It's about these guys just getting together and doing it. And that's why I like that. I like that just do your own thing, and it'll work out. I like that. So that's why I give it a 13. That's I'm trying to clarify that. Like the 13, it means a lot. So I'm not just giving everything a 13 because amongst the 13s, there's always going to be ranking that. But I'm trying to narrow it down what I can say for a 13 or whatnot. But I definitely I love this movie. This definitely gets a big old heart for me. Like I really care about it.
well, let me go ahead and just kind of justify your 13. I'm giving it a 12.
Ooh,
I'm giving it a 12 out of
ooh,
13. All
ooh.
right, it's high up there. I don't know whether I just grade hard or not. Don't get me wrong, man. Like this is, oh gosh, I don't want to sound like a snob, man. It would take it would even with a comedy, man. Like it would be. Don't get me wrong. I love comedies, but it would have to be a really smart, really, and damn, I feel like I'm just stepping over myself. You know,
Preach, brother, preach.
12. So to get a 13, man, like it has to. I like to be surprised during movies. If you can throw a twist my way and I don't catch it, or you throw enough stuff in my face to where it blinds me enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I had a movie recently that did that, but I just can't think it, off the top of my head. Because that's what I do in movies sometimes. Even if I see it for the first time, I'm constantly trying to figure it out. Like that's my main goal, and I think I can contribute a lot of this kind of behavior towards the movie Gothica. Okay, I
Okay.
called it. I called it. I don't know how I called it, but I did. I remember I watched it. I was watching it. I was like, this is what's gonna happen. I was like, how did I guess that?
Yeah.
And so ever since then, man, I was just like, okay, that's how I operate. Especially if there's a twist that they are trying to, like in the previews or something, they're just really trying to
Yeah.
really end. Uh, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, with the cops being the bad guys, I mean, it makes sense. And probably my younger self wouldn't have really thought too much about this or anything like that. But here and now, that's kind of where I'm sitting at. I mean,
Oh, remember, I
for
think
a
I think
movie,
I think a 12 is a really high score, and I
I
think
think it is too.
I
It's
think
above a 10.
it is, and I think what you're saying is right. I think predictable movies are bad. I shouldn't be able to go watch a movie and predict where the character is going to go and how they end up. I should be able to get like astonished, like, "Why didn't see that coming?" Or, but I mean, you don't have to be tricked. I get what you're saying about this, as it feels like you're getting the same thing, the same
Yeah.
motion.
Well, and yeah, and I mean, honestly, man, like if I'm trying to trying to think back and be like, oh, was I surprised whenever I found out the cops were the bad guys, or even if I cared back then,
Yeah.
because that may not have been like one that really I was just like trying to figure. I may have just been having a good time laughing and just totally like, oh, okay, that's the plot of it. A 12 though, man, like you said, it's a high score. I don't want to. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents of why I don't want it to seem like I'm just being like, no, you don't get a 13 because yeah, nah,
I'll tell you this
you
though,
know.
you're being honest, and that's what we need, because you don't need to rate them like we're not rating our, we have the same rating scale, but we don't, they're not they're valued the same, but it doesn't mean that I know more or you know more, or like I'm in love with it, or it shows like how we feel about it. And I think since we've been doing this organically, other than like kind of like the Ace Ventura kind of plan a little bit, but since we've been talking and finding movies on our own like that, I think that there's no real agenda there. It's just kind of like, it's like we're just kind of going through it, like we're figuring it out as we go. But what I'm trying to say is like the scoring, like if it's like a 13 to me, like we found kind of two 13s with me, but by accident.
Yeah,
We didn't go and see like, oh, these are all CJ. We're going to start talking about CJ's top 10 movies right away. No, we're finding them by accident, because
yeah,
we're just going into it like, all right, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to talk about now? Oh, it's getting kind of late. Maybe we should just find a topic to talk about, and focus on it, and we'll go. That's how we got John Favreau. We basically, I just looked at my DVD rack and I said, hey, PCU. That's how it's, I like how that's like, it's easy, that it's that simple. And sometimes we might have a running theme, and then we'll just pick up on it. Like we've been talking, should we, and I do like that. I do like, so my 13s are, and this is definitely a 13. Like I really love this movie. Like it's a great movie. Super Troopers 1 is by far like just everything. Like if you're in a bad mood, watch it. If you're in a good mood, watch it. If you're sad, watch it. If you're happy, watch it. Like it'll amplify you. And then if somebody's listening to this and saying, oh, it's just super guy humor, or stupid stoner humor, I'm like, well, put your little hat on, put your stupid guy humor hat on, and put your stupid
yeah.
and put it and watch it like that, and then see what you think. It's not here to be judged like that. Like this is just, I mean, the opening scene is just like they're they're like a band, like they live the dream that he's daydreaming again, but he wants, like, even like that's Rabbit's dream, but his dream is to be with his friends, making it. Like that's still cool. Like there's still like a friendship period there. Like they care about, but even in the dream, like he knows his friends so well that or his coworkers, he knew like Mac would kick him out the back, like Lucille, like he knew that they would do that. That was in his dream. Like, but we saw it happening. Yeah, this one's definitely a 13. Super Troopers 2, however, is not a 13 for me. but it is definitely
it's not a 12 for me either.
it's not a 12 for me, but it's gonna be up there with 11 to 10. Like I'll
Yeah.
settle I'll put it at an 11. I was gonna say
Mhm.
12 at first, but then after like seeing how much like I really like one. And like I said, with me, like if you might pick up, I might be a little bit biased because of that nostalgia thing that I'm always like, oh, like I remember I saw this when I was younger, and I
But
think
that's part of it, man.
I think
Ace Ventura had the nostalgic factor for me. I mean, that's
yeah.
why it's got a higher score than I think most people would probably give it.
I mean, but even like the two, they went through the GoFundMe route, so that gave it points for me. Thinking like, man,
Yeah.
that's awesome that these guys are still finding ways to like. It's inspiring for me to go to get off my butt and do it. And but I like so that's another thing. I would kind of give it like a 12, but I think 11 because it's exactly like a like a like one, but its own certain way. I like the way they make fun of the Canadians, like their own way, like the I do like that. This guy's gonna make us eat tortillas, or they're gonna tell us stop listening to Rush and Bare Naked Ladies. Like those are funny little quotes that like I'm like okay, like that those things still are gonna stick out to me now, but Super Troopers 2, like it's playing right now in the background. And now to me, I'm like, I wouldn't do this number one anymore, but because I did it so much. But for two, I think it's two's turn for me to just put it in the background and get kind of because it's got that feel. I'm enjoyed. I'm entertained. What's your score for two? Would you give it?
It's gonna be a 10.
10. Good.
It's gonna be 10.
I figure that.
Solid sequel, man. It is it's a fun movie, man. It really is. It's a fun ride. Like I said, I laughed a lot. But I guess I'm just maybe a hard grader or something like that. And it really, like a movie, it really has to impress me, I guess. It's just something I haven't seen before, which I honestly, this day and age, man, is getting more and more difficult. When you just have so much content out there.
Yeah, there it is.
But this is a fun movie. It's something that I was excited to go see. I was still excited to watch it this time around.
Yeah.
And it has great qualities. It really does. I mean, you have that whole Canada versus America thing, and that's funny enough, that's not the border issue that we're really worried about in America. Yeah. But it's still something that they tackled and still did it with a little bit of there's still animosity there.
Yeah.
There's still gonna you get that image, or at least I do through the media, that all Canadians are just so nice.
Yeah,
so,
or
aside from like Trailer Park Boys or something like that, I like that. I like that aspect of the movie too. You have a lot of good jokes, and you have new jokes that are, like whenever you see the Mounties all together watching the hockey game. I mean, it's almost like you're seeing all those guys. It's the Broken Lizard, but the Canadian version.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's true. I thought that like that's like you're getting the Canadian version of those guys. And they still play pranks. Even with Farva, I noticed like everything has an issue as a thing. So though when they hook up the shocker to do the sound check, that you I don't know if you caught this, but he has to get the mitten on.
Yeah.
And then so he actually has to use the mitten to break the window to get out from the bear. If they never did that, the mittens wouldn't be there, so he would never really be able to grab something else. But it was easy for him to get the mitten to punch the window to unlock it so he can get out or move the hockey stick. But he used the mitten that they put, so they kind of foreshadowed a little bit like you're gonna need this. So I like that
good storytelling. I mean, honestly, or good, at least very aware storytelling. Which, hell, honestly, for me, I mean, that should give possibly a higher score. I don't know. I feel like I said, I'm being too judgmental on some of these. I like your view on it, man. I think it's like what's gonna end up happening is I know we're gonna be burning through so many movies. We're gonna eventually watch movies like I'm thinking these are movies that we enjoy loving, we love, and we fall in love with. When we start rating movies on Netflix that are just low budget or something, that's when we're gonna get the real scores. Like these are good movies, but this is like the high end stuff we're doing right now. We're still gonna keep doing this. Once we get down to the lower grades, we're gonna find out why. I mean, there's gonna be a whole bunch of video breakdowns. These are just kind of more appreciation videos.
you know, that we like. And I think
I think it's a good start.
it's a good start, man. Start
You
off on
know,
the top, and then we'll work our way down, and we'll go back
yeah.
to the top. But I think, and
Sorry,
I
doing
think
a little bit of adjustment there.
that's cool. I think the rating for Super Troopers, it got on IMDb, it got a 7.1, which is pretty good. To see, but on their Rotten Tomato score, this is crazy, man. This is the ones that like. I think I know what our channel totally is like. Super Troopers, um, the tomato meter, the critics gave it 35%. Audience score 90%. That's
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah. That's crazy, dude. Like that makes total sense, honestly.
look at
Sorry, I have to charge my.
oh, your hairplugs.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Uh,
The one of the critics, conscious, basically says, a more missed than hit affair. Super Troopers will most likely appeal to those looking for something silly. I can see something, but what's wrong with silly? Nothing wrong.
nothing.
They look at the way they do it. This, and even in on both the movie posters, they look funny. Like you already know what you're getting. They're upside down. You know, like they're telling you right in front of you. Like this is what we're doing. This is who we are. Like come on, like I don't know. But it's also 88 people, and then there's 262,878 audience. So you know what I mean. There's even if you get rid of 262,008, you still have what do you call it? You still have almost the same amount of people that watch the critic one. Let's see, and then for Super Troopers
I'm gonna
2,
say 80, 82 for Super Troopers on the audience.
on the right. Oh, okay. Oh man, this is.
Ooh, I don't know because there's gonna be a lot of people that are just like, oh, this is just a rehash. It may be lower than that.
What do you think? Okay, what's your score?
I'm gonna say 82. 82. That's I'm gonna
It's
stick with
not
that.
it's not too. I mean, it's kind of off, but it's 64 audience score, and then
Whoa.
36. What do you call it? With the critics, and then more. It's crazy on this one. 98 people voted, so 10 more people voted on the Super Troopers True as the critics, and they still gave it about the same. Was it 30? Yeah, 30, one more percent better, 35, 36. Meow that the wait for Super Troopers 2 is
Did
finally
you throw that
over.
in there? Meow.
What? No,
Oh,
it's just on the critics.
I thought you threw that in
Not
there.
right now, meow. Not right, meow. Meow that the wait for Super Troopers 2 is finally over. All but the voted fans mustache themselves why they waited so long. Such cruel and tragic shenanigans. Nah, it's they're a little too hard on this one, man. I think this one deserves a little better, another like repeat, because even only 3,000 people voted on the audience score, so
You
it's
said there
not.
was like 200,000
Yeah,
on
two
the
hundred
other one.
thousand. The other one, yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a definitely a lot. And just a little thing about the Zoom. I think we fixed it because it's not telling us what do you call it?
No
It's not telling
time
us
limit or
no
anything.
time, nothing. So
All
that's
right.
cool.
We
So
figured it out.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're getting pretty much at that time where I think we've played our respects to this movie. Both of them, I think I do have a greater view for two, and I feel like I'll put it on even more now. These guys aren't like Reno 911. These guys are their version. Reno 911 is I really do like that show a lot, but it's not these guys. These guys are the movie version of Reno 911, and Reno 911 made a movie, and it was kind of like the show, but even at that, like with these guys, it's artistic. I think it's an artistic taste. It's not like drinking Bud Light out of a wine glass, but it's a lot better. You know, a lot better quality on this. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed both these movies. I hope these guys keep making movies, and if they keep doing, I'll keep watching them. I'll keep going to theaters because these guys are theater worthy for me when I watch a movie.
Oh yeah.
Even like I like my rule. You know, whatever you start, you finish when you watch. You know, and if they ever do lay a goose egg, I want to see it. I want to see what happened. But these guys are great. For we got October coming up this week, so we're gonna do some horror movies, but
Ooh.
not all. But Ben doesn't really like horror movies, so we're gonna
Hey,
find some.
listen. For the sake of this podcast and for my, widening of my cinematic library, man, I have to. I mean, I may not be a fan, but by God, I need to watch them. I need
I
to
mean,
get that.
well, what,
What were you gonna say?
what else are you doing? You just finished what you're gonna say. You need to get the wings or what?
Yeah, like I mean, I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen Scream. Scream is it's fantastic, dude.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
mean, because that's what I'm talking about with the twist, man. Like those those are the kinds of things that I enjoy. Like if I can see that, or if I can't see that coming, even better, man. But I think probably the first time I watched Scream too, I wasn't just like, oh, I need to figure this out. But I am gonna go. I will try to take that hat off whenever I'm watching these movies too.
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, I
Um,
think we could easily segue into horror movies this coming up month.
I
Um,
think we can too. I was honestly, man, whenever we were talking about, and I had IMDb pulled up, and then it has suggestions underneath there. Um, before if we want to jump right into horror movies, we can for the month of October. I am
mhm.
totally okay with that. But I did see a indie film and a sequel uh, that were a little bit further apart, kind of like this movie. I don't know if it was Clerks and Clerks 2.
Oh, ooh,
Um, yeah.
we're going, we're
So,
going,
and
we're going Kevin Smith area. I love it.
I do love me some Kevin
I
Smith,
love,
dude.
I got,
Mallrats, man. Oh, I love that
I love
movie.
Mallrats. I love. Oh, okay. I love where we're going with this. I love where
Yeah.
we're going. I'll say that this is a little theme we got going on right now, and I love this theme going because we did Ace Ventura when Pet Detective and Ace Ventura when Nature Calls, and now then we did Super Troopers 1, Super Troopers 2, and I don't mind doing a Clerks and Clerks 2 because this is another independent filmmaker. His story is Kevin Smith's story is pretty cool. The way he got started too. Um, man, these all right. We're gonna do Clerks. I really love just the filmmaking from this, and you're right. There's Clerks 2 is in 2006, and
Yeah. So
Clerks
it was
1 is
12 years.
12 years. Yeah, and but I
Yeah.
mean there. Oh, it's kind of they're right. They're two different beasts, and because one was kind of more like an artsy independent comedy, a real slice of life. The other one turned into like a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, let's see. I'll do that, man. I like these guys. I like Kevin Smith a lot, man. I follow him on Instagram and on Facebook, and he's doing podcasts and stuff. So he's just a good. He's just
He's
a
been
good.
on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
enjoyed him on there too.
Oh, he does. And I mean, when he says his quote of when his dad died, that's real. It doesn't matter if you die. When you die, you're gonna scream. So he might as well enjoy it. So he's like, I just been smoking weed and chasing whimsies. It's like that's his like
Hmm.
mantra right now. And I'm like, yeah, he's right, man. Just go for it. And I love that. I mean, I have his book. I need to read it. I haven't finished reading it, but I need to get back onto it. Um, he wrote a book. I think he's wrote a couple books, but he's man, the guy's good, man. He knows how to
Hmm.
tell a story. He's a good storyteller, and I'm happy you discussed this. I'm happy you brought this up because this isn't. You're right. Did you say you recently saw them or just you wanted to compare them?
No, no, actually, I thought it was a cool comparison too because like how it's I can't think of any other movie like that like Super Troopers, man, that was independent, and then so many odd years later you have the sequel to it. Not necessarily anything that anybody was like, "Oh, I'm begging for Clerks 2," but it was in the back of everybody's mind. And then
Yeah.
whenever it came about, you're just like, "Okay." Um, yeah, I mean, I probably honestly, CJ, I think I watched Clerks 2 before I watched Clerks. If
Oh,
I'm Yeah. The reason being, I had seen Dogma, I had seen Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back,
yeah.
which they do have Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and then they do Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I haven't
Have
seen
you have you seen
I
that?
haven't seen the reboot yet.
It's not bad.
All right.
It's not. I don't know, man. We may have to do something on that later because that's another. Well, it really wasn't an independent film at that point, but like I said, something that's a sequel
Dude,
set many years later because that was a 2001 movie too.
yeah. Yeah, and I think Dogma is a great movie. It's got Carlin,
Oh,
Chris Rock,
yep.
Rosario Dawson. Um, Yeah, dude. There's something about Dogma that is just a good storytelling, and it's also like it's a religious story. You know, I'm not.
Mhm.
My family's religious. Both my sides, tend to be church people, and I'm really not. And but when I see that story, I'm like, I get it. I understand. You know, the story. It's a good story. It's a really nice
Yeah.
little Bible kind of verse, whatnot, but a scripture, I guess I should say. But I think Clerks, man, I want to see that just the it's a different pace too, because I don't think I could tell someone about Clerks if they weren't in either a movie buff, a film buff, or like an actor, or some kind of like maybe a filmmaker. I'd have to show them like look how it starts off, and this is where you go. But like to suggest it to anybody, like, hey, do you suggest anything? I'd have to know your background a little bit. They kind of suggest Clerks. It is a different little, like, on the pie chart of movies. You're right. It's like it's going to be somewhere like, somewhere in a nice spot, but where you don't really, you want to share it with somebody, but you want to make sure they get it. You don't just want to give it, like Super Troopers. I can just watch this. Like, I don't even care. Like, you can be high or sober or whatever you want. Just watch this movie. It's freaking hilarious. You'll get it. And then, because, everyone's getting pulled over by the cops, I mean, it always happens. Somebody gets pulled over and you always have an interaction, and you see these interactions which are ridiculous. But with Clerks, it's more of that independent feel. It really has it. It really has that, and the acting is pretty good. As in, like, just it's also like this reminds me of Swingers. This was gonna have like a swinger, but I haven't seen Clerks in a while, so it's gonna be good for me to watch it, and then watch Clerks 2. I saw Clerks 2 at the theater, but it's just I don't really remember it that well, so it'd be good to me to do a rewatch. But so we're next week. We've already decided Kevin Smith, Clerks.
Kevin Smith.
Clerks and Clerks 2. We're going to be breaking those down. So today's side by side was Super Troopers 1 and Super Troopers 2, which I think was just kind of where I'm at right now. Even in my life, just watching it, I was like, oh, I hit the spot perfect, man. The way we did it, it was perfect, dude. I was like, it's going to be 3 a.m, and I'm pretty sure we're going to.
I know, man. I just saw that. I was like, oh, cow.
I just realized, but I mean, we could talk about movies that we really enjoy, and this one we really do enjoy. And I knew it was gonna be like that because I when you were giving me the time, I was like, oh, he's really letting me like soak it up because he's got a lot too. So it's gonna be fun to share. And I mean, I even like that we fixed like as independent guys, we had a problem, we fixed it. It's not a big one, but to me, it's like, hey, there's gonna be setbacks, keep going. And I like that we really got this thing going. I really do. I gotta just kiss to Super Troopers and Broken Lizards for you guys doing your work. Keep it up. And now we got Kevin Smith coming up, and I'm a big Kevin Smith guy, so this is gonna be a fun one. I actually I want to say I like that you picked this because this is also or like you kind of suggested it because it's also a 90s and then the 2000s, and I feel like that there's that we've been kind of doing that a little bit, so it's kind of cool how we're forming our content. But I guess it's already late. In 2 minutes, it'll be 3 o'clock, and I actually do need to get some sleep. I got a 2-year-old about to wake up in about an hour. So,
oh man, jeez.
I'm gonna get him. He's gonna get me, but I'm gonna get him. It's gonna be fun. I bought him puzzles, and he's been doing puzzles. So you can let him just chill and do some puzzles, and Dad'll be over here just trying to edit and do stuff. I like that I'm in the kitchen right now. It works out for me. But that being said, let's get some rest. We got some movies coming up. I got a few movies. Oh, and then next weekend I got a film. I'm doing a film festival, or the 40 Hour Film Project. I haven't signed up yet. I need to sign up, but got that going, and that's going to be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So when we do, I'll watch the movies probably maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and get ready for that thing this Wednesday. So I'll go film, set it up, chill for a little bit, and then get talking to you. Look at that, movies all weekend. It's gonna be a movie related weekend. It's just gonna be writing a movie, acting in a movie, and then taking a break, coming into it, talking to you about 2 other great movies that I don't have probably some nice notes to. And you got anything else you want to say?
I'm good, man. I think it's literally time to sign off.
Yeah, I was trying to get right at 3, so it'd be like we sit up till 3 a.m. doing a podcast. But no, we start at. I mean, it's a midnight podcast, and I mean, when you find something you enjoy, just go with it.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few technical difficulties, but hey, man, I mean, with your editing skills, I'm sure it will be seamless.
I'm trying to think about what we're gonna do with these two. Like the two, we're next to each other now, so it's cool. Now we're side by side.
Side by side. Wait.
You gotta go like that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 3 a.m, and I need to go before I piss people off at my house.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, man.
All right.
Hey,
Brother, talk to you, man.
you have a good night.
You too, man. Peace.
Bye.